staying in and that's...
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks, mate.
That looks all good, yeah. It's a little bit wiry at the back, but you're not going to be back to the camera, are you? Unless you want to put it up through your shed. Cool. Oh, there's water here. Do you want me to...
I'm alright for a little bit.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't get that loop, can you?
No, once you're in, you're in.
You're in. You're like...
I remember I actually did it when I did a radio with Bob Hunt once. I said to him, I was just me and Bob on the Hunt because Bob, I've got to go to loo, mate. He'll leave it to you and wait for one. He said, couldn't believe it. I'd never done that to him before. Left.
You've got to go. There you go.
That's going to take you down. Good choice, good choice.
Unlucky.
Great six.
Good job.
Sydney. Get if you want.
Lovely seat.
Good call, Shanna.
Come on.
Big edge, mate ball.
Oh no, it's anywhere.
Cream through the covers. We've seen plenty of that from Tom Banton this summer. What a shot that is. Minimal effort. Oh, it's short, it's wide, and he's just crashed it through the covers. Oh, that's 4 more. It's so good from Banton. Babarazam onto it in a flash, and that's another boundary.
Got him. Well done, Roman Walker. Little bit swifter. Banton trying to force it away. Thickish outside edge. And Cook does the rest, and Glamorgan have their man. Yeah, it's easy. Too easy.
What a shot. Have to run here. Have to run, direct hit, and gone. I'm sure that is gone. We're going to have a look upstairs, but he looked way short. Oh, that's more like it. Middle of the bat again. Just using the pace that was there on this occasion. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We haven't seen too much of that this evening.
Catch it!
Got. And that 200 was still on the cards whilst Babarazam was still there. Oh, scythed away. Brilliantly taken. Wow. Could be successful as well. Ingram. And that is as comprehensive as you like. Oh, 2 and 2. Oh, I had to try something this time. It's middle stump rather than off stump. Somerset stumbling at the final last ball. And there you go. 3 in the final over for Marcin de Lange. Somerset capitulating at the death.
And nicked and gone. First delivery for Tyrone Taylor, a huge wicket. A little bit of swing. You can see that road. It's going to be tight. He's giving it up, and he's hit on Tom Abel. It's a huge wicket for Somerset. Oh, it's punched away. It's going to be 4 runs. It's a lovely shot down the ground.
Good shot. Clubbed straight down the ground. That's more of what is needed. Oh, has he got enough of it? No! Picks out long off. Van der Merwe gets a wicket. Googly. Bang in front. Brilliant from Waller. Brilliant from Somerset.
Yeah!
Bowled him. Another Glamorgan batsman done in the flight of Waller.
Huge appeal and gone. Oh, how well has he picked that up? Superb. He's going to try and attack Craig Overton, and attack him he does. Straight to a half century. And he's gone for the big one. Just 1 too many.
Yeah!
Gone. Max Waller strikes back. I think he's got a good piece of that. Oh, and he slammed that. Gone. Van der Merwe takes another. Glamorgan all out for 152.
A great win. front of the home crowd on a wonderful day for cricket.
That's the one.
Nice. Oh no.
Good evening, welcome to the Cooper Associates County Ground. I'm Steve Snell. Tonight we're here for our first Trade Nation live streaming event. It's Somerset v Glamorgan. It's the start of the T20 campaign here at the Cooper Associates County Ground. Somerset have already had one game, a loss unfortunately so to Northamptonshire, and one no result. Today Tom Abell's team will be looking to put that right. Glamorgan, fresh off the back of beating Gloucestershire, a 15-run victory the other day, will also be looking to kickstart the rest of their campaign. We've got an exciting partnership with Trade Nation, who are the first time streaming partner with Somerset County Cricket Club, and all sorts of fun things will be happening tonight. There's a flat screen TV, a pizza and a crate of Thatchers to be won, all of which we'll be finding out a little bit later. What we can see in the background is the players are warming up, they're getting ready to kick-start the game. Tom Abell and Jason Kerr would definitely have had some words of encouragement for their charges. But the toss is not too far away. We've got Charlie Taylor and myself who will be taking you through the evening. Also, we're finding out lots more about Trade Nation, their streaming rights and the charity partners we've got here today. There's £250 on offer if you hit one of the targets around the side of the ground today. £250 actually going to charity, £25 for every 4 that's hit and £50 for every 6. That money will be going to Somerset CCC disability sides, the visually impaired side, the super ones, and of course our other charities that we mentioned at a later date. But yeah, we'll give you some news for the toss as soon as we can, but for the meantime what we're going to have a look at some highlights for matches gone past, and there'll be some fireworks here tonight for sure, but there's been some fireworks that have happened in the past too.
Well, it's that time again. Time for a bit of rock and roll. Huge wicket! Oh, have a look at that! That's brilliant! What a catch! And boy, did they need that!
Well, this is punishing stuff from David Milan. He keeps going and going.
Oh, excellent catch! God, what a delivery! That is an absolute beauty! That is magnificent!
Got to be quick here. Oh, brilliant, world-class David Willey.
Oh, he's gone again. He's gone again, this time straight.
Running round. Oh, that's incredible. What a catch. Huge wicket. That could be the game right there. He's got him. It's 7. Unbelievable. Oh, no. Would you believe it? It's the Eagles! Vitality blast!
What a cracking summer we've had.
Well, we've missed it, haven't we, T20 cricket? It's been away for over a year now since we watched Somerset in the last T20 in 2019. Players like Babar Azam and Tom Banton scoring hundreds of runs at the top of the order for Somerset. If you are just joining us, welcome to this. It's the live stream of Somerset against Glamorgan being brought to you by It's Trade Nation. You can find them on Twitter there, at It's Trade Nation. We are very pleased to be here. I'm Charlie Taylor. We saw Steve Snell a little bit earlier on. He'll be back with me here in the commentary box very shortly to bring you the latest from Taunton. As you can see, it's a nice day here. Been a beautiful day, actually. Lovely September day, because we are into September now. Blue skies above us. We're expecting the floodlights to come on. Not all that long, I guess, as it gets a bit darker earlier on. here in September. But at the moment, looking out on some of the Somerset players, you can see Josh Davey there, ball in hand, preparing to have a bit more of a practice bowl as they go on. We're also seeing a bit of Craig Overton a little bit earlier too. So the bowlers having a go at the moment for Somerset. Glamorgan doing some fielding practice as we speak as well. So that's the scene here. Of course, it is empty. There are no crowds in. There won't be any crowds in for the duration, we think, certainly for Somerset of the T20 Blast. Some other grounds like the Oval and Edgbaston may see some crowds coming in. But here at Taunton, it's going to be behind closed doors. But what that means is that we can bring you all the action here on the live stream on the Somerset County Cricket Club website. Very pleased to be with you because of that. So lots going on as we just take a look at some of the pitch there as they're preparing it. We've seen the pitch that's going to be in use. Looks pretty flat. We'll get a pitch report from Steve Snell before kick-off. It all gets going at 6:30 today. We also earlier on saw highlights of last year's match of this very equivalent. So Somerset against Glamorgan in 2019. I am sorry to say that yes, if you were eagle-eyed, you might have spotted me on that dropping a catch. I'm sure Steve will be rubbing that in for the rest of the evening here on the stream that we've got. So just having a look in a moment at Craig Overton, who's been warming up, someone who's been in fantastic form in the Bob Willis Trophy. Here he comes, just watching on our screens now. Craig Overton, who's been such an important part of Somerset, signed a new deal, 3 years. He'll be here at least. Out of the back of the hand there, look at that. The variations. We won't see that too often in the Bob Willis Trophy or in County Championship cricket, but that's what T20 does. It means you've got to innovate, got to be different, got to catch out the batsman by surprise. Let's take a quick look at some of the former times that these two teams have met up. Actually, quite a lot of times. You might remember the central group that Somerset find themselves in now, alongside teams like Gloucestershire and Glamorgan, who Somerset are playing tonight. Actually, that was quite a common thing in T20s until not that long ago. So these two teams have met 34 times in T20 cricket. 17 of those times, so exactly half of them, have been won by Somerset. Glamorgan have won 11 of those. And there have been 2 that ended in no result, and 4 have been totally abandoned without a ball being bowled. Can't see that being an issue tonight. So I'd look out now over the pitch. You can see Tom Abel just getting ready for a toss, having a chat with Chris Cook, who is the captain of the Glamorgan side as well. So all that happening as we speak. Just can see Craig Overton on the screen. Just getting ready. We'll bring you team news as soon as we've got it here. You might remember as well, there was a world record set in this match in the opposite fixture at Sophia Gardens. It was Arul Sapaya who took 6 for 5. It was in 2011, a world record at the time. That's since been beaten. I think it was last year in the T20s. It was a Leicestershire player, pretty sure, who took 7 wickets. But it was a world record at the time, 6 for 5. For Arul Sapaya, who I noticed his birthday was very recently as well. So happy birthday, Arul Sapaya. So coming up in before 6:30, which is when we'll bring you live commentary here, all the action that you need here on the live stream. We'd love to hear from you tonight. You can get in touch with us. I'd love to see your setup. How are you watching? Get in touch. You can use the hashtag StreamInStyle. StreamInStyle on the hashtag. We'd love to see that. Or you can tweet us. Just tag in at It's Trade Nation. And Somerset CCC, let us know how you're watching. I'm particularly keen to see what snacks are on the go tonight. Maybe it's because I haven't had any food and I need to live through what you guys are eating through the game. Let us know. Would love to know how you're enjoying this T20 season at home. So far, it's not been exactly what Somerset would have wanted. A complete washout on Friday night against Birmingham Bears at Edgbaston. Not a single ball bowled there. And then defeat against Northamptonshire on Sunday. So Somerset only on the 1 point after 2 games. The good news for the county is that Babar Azam is likely to join the club very shortly. So that coming up, we think, for the next game, which will be at Edgbaston again, this time against Worcestershire on Thursday. So the first time we'll see him at Taunton, likely to be this Friday. Babar Azam, who is the #1 ranked T20 player in the world. So quite amazing. Just having a look here. Max Waller, who's coming in, just keeping an eye on them as they train, get ready to practice. It's Max Waller coming in. Let's see what he does here, and can see that one just coming out of the knuckles there. So probably a slower delivery, just trying to fox the batsman, just changing up. And we know Max Waller is so good at those varieties. of bowling. So good to see it, good stuff to see it. We'll bring you this. We've got the slow-mo camera in action throughout the night tonight, and we will be bringing you those highlights. So that to look forward to. Just keeping an eye on Tom Abell, the Somerset captain. Chris Cook there as well. I'll go through the sorts of teams that we're expecting tonight. Glamorgan, who've done pretty well. They've beaten Gloucestershire already. Their first game was a washout, but they lost more recently against Birmingham Bears. The Glamorgan side were expecting it to be something like this. The captain wicketkeeper is Chris Cook. He's been in fine form, actually, scoring 51 against Gloucestershire. He was in the 70s against Birmingham as well, so he's a very good player. Kieran Carlson, Callum Taylor and Andrew Balbirnie. Andrew Balbirnie is their overseas signing. He plays for Ireland. The toss has happened now, and we will find out in just a second how that's gone. So Tom Abell is making his way across the ground. We'll catch up with him. He's going to have a chat with Steve Snell in a second. Just quickly go through that Glamorgan side. Billy Root, Douthwaite, Wag, Salter, DeLanger, Van der Hoogten and Cisadilla the spinner. That is how we're looking. So we will catch up in a moment with the Somerset captain, Tom Abell, find out what went on at the toss as we head down to the...
Yep. Tom Abell, the Somerset captain, has joined me. I haven't had a chance to ask him yet, but Tom, what's happened at the toss?
We won the toss and we're having to bowl first.
So Somerset have won the toss and decided to bowl first. Any changes to your team from the game against Northampton?
We've got one change. Josh Davies coming in place of Jamie Overton. But obviously we had a disappointing result in the last game, and that can happen in 2020 cricket, you know. So we're hoping, obviously, try and get back to winning ways tonight.
Yeah, before we go into kind of what happened and what you might have said to the boys ahead of tonight's game, anything worth noting about the pitch conditions, the dimensions of the ground tonight?
I think, you know, we used to play in 2020 cricket here. It's always good wickets, so I'm sure it'll be a high-scoring game. That's usually the case here, but there's one small boundary as well, so that was, you know, a factor in our thinking, choosing to bowl first. I think it could be difficult to defend that side later on.
Yeah, let's look back to the game against Northampton. Obviously disappointing to start the playing campaign. I know we had one abandoned game, but start the playing campaign with the loss. What have you said to the guys ahead of tonight's game?
It's always disappointing when you lose, you know, especially given how well we've been playing in the Red Bull stuff this season. But there were positives to come out of that, and so we've drawn upon those for sure. You know, Saylor was brilliant with the ball, and we got off to a great start with the bat. We obviously lost our way, which was disappointing. We dropped a few chances in the field as well, which, you know, in 2020 cricket, that's going to cost you.
Yeah, absolutely. Ollie Saylor is a fairly new name for Somerset fans. I know from just how he came back from Australia in the winter, he's a bit more resembling Chris Hemsworth from 4, isn't he, in terms of his build. I'm assuming he's wanging them down at a decent lick.
Yeah, he is bowling with good pace. He's worked really hard on his 2020 skills, and that's definitely an area we need to try and improve on. So it's great sort of for him to put all that work into practice the other night under pressure, and yeah, I think it was fair to say he delivered, and you know, we'll be hoping for more of the same from him tonight.
Yeah, it's a new experience for all of the players to play here at the Cooper Associates County Ground with no fans in. Obviously in partnership with Trade Nation, we're trying our best to bring that fan experience to everyone at home. How are you guys going to kind of maintain that level of intensity and create your own atmosphere tonight?
It is different, but you're doing a great job so far. It's, you know, it is what it is. It's obviously not the same, especially nights like this. 2020 games here at Taunton, you know, the atmosphere is amazing to play in front of. So, yeah, I guess we've got to create our own energy in the field, especially. But in terms of how we're going about things on the pitch, you know, it doesn't change too much. We want to be really positive, play a really attacking brand of cricket, always taking the positive options. So, from that point of view, our focus won't change.
Well, there'll be plenty of Somerset fans wishing you all the best tonight. I'll let you go, Tom. All the best, and hope Somerset have a great one. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Nelly. Cheers.
I did mention Trade Nation there. Obviously, you know, last season there were some significant highlights of some of the games that were taking place, and let's have a little bit of a flavour of what Trade Nation are all about and some of the cricket that's taken place in the past.
It's going to be tight. He's giving it out. Takes another. It's a huge wicket for Somerset. Have to run, direct hit. Cream for again. I think it's gone all the way. Yes, another 6 for Tom Bell. All out for 152. A great win.
Oh, and that has been swept away.
Well, how good is that? Watching that, absolutely brilliant. Can't wait to see what's going to happen tonight. So we carry on watching some of the warm-ups. You can see the sun's come out now, shadows across the ground. Absolutely beautiful day in Taunton, which is just what you want to hear after a wet start to the T20 campaign for Somerset, washed out against Birmingham. But we're in for a full game tonight. That's the important news. Very exciting too. We're just watching a bit of the warm-up here. Tom Lammonby, who has made his debut first-class 100 in the Bob Willis Trophy. Now he's bowling here, practicing, getting ready for tonight's game. It's Glamorgan, the opponents at Taunton for Somerset, under blue skies here. Things have changed clearly a lot since last season. Normally around this time, what are we, about 20 minutes before the start, there'd be a full crowd in, there'd be noise, a hubbub, but that isn't the case tonight. It's going to be a much quieter affair, but without the crowd, we're able to bring you this full coverage for you live on the Somerset County Cricket Club website with Trade Nation. And also, where the crowd would be in the stands, we have got 8 massive sides. These things are huge. These Trade Nation sides, if they get hit during this game, we'll talk about this a little bit later on, but if they get hit, there's money going to charity, and we'll talk about the charity that's benefiting 5 different charities for the 5 different home games. It's a really good cause, and that's very exciting. So you can see that. There's one of them there. You can see these big TNs for Trade Nation. If they get hit tonight by a 6, if a ball goes into them, that is 250 quid for the chosen charity tonight, which is absolutely great. And tonight it's a really good charity, all cricket-based, to do with the disability squad here in Somerset, and the VI, the visually impaired squad as well. And Super Ones, you might have heard of Super Ones. They're happening around the county, helping young people, some disadvantaged people getting into cricket. It's really great. Hoping to set up a second 11 for the disability squad, getting them some kit sorted out as well, helping out with their travel arrangements too. It's an expensive thing keeping a cricket club like that going, so all that money helping out, and it's going to be good. It's going to be watching the players try and hit those signs is going to be fun. I wonder whether players will deliberately aim towards them, or whether they'll try and put them to the back of their mind and try not to hit them, because they might be put off trying too hard on that and not concentrating on the bowling. We shall wait to see. Looking forward to how that all pans out. Each one worth 250 quid. Not just that, any 6, even if it doesn't hit the sign, it will be 50 quid, £25 for every 4. That's every single 4 and every single 6. There's money going to charity. Let's run you through the teams then that we've just had confirmed here for us tonight. We'll start with the home team. Somerset will open with George Bartlett and Steve Davies, who will keep wicket. James Hildreth coming in at 3 with Tom Abel, the captain in Lewis Gregory's absence. He's with the England squad tonight. So Tom Abel captaining. We'll then have Eddie Byram, Ben Green and Craig Overton making up the middle order, with Roelof van der Merwe coming up after that. Ollie Sale, he keeps his place, as does Max Waller. It's Josh Davey, the one change for Somerset since the last game. Josh Davey coming in for Jamie Overton. So that is something to look out for, see how Josh Davey gets on, someone who's really proved himself in red ball cricket. Played a fantastic game in the 50-over final as well last year at Lord's. The Glamorgan side, looking through these, this confirmed now. Chris Cook, the captain and wicketkeeper, is there. Kieran Carlson, Callum Taylor and Andrew Balbirnie, the Ireland short-form captain, is in the squad for Glamorgan. Billy Root, Dan Douthwaite, Graham Wagg and Andrew Salter all in the side, as well as Marchant de Lange, Tim van der Huchten and Prem Sisodia make up the Glamorgan 11. So that is what we can expect tonight from the two teams under what is absolutely beautiful blue skies now in Taunton. So very exciting to getting T20 cricket under the blue skies here on the live stream for you on the website. Let's just have a look at these tees in a bit more detail now. They are absolutely huge. You can see them in the ground. They're dotted around the stands now. Let's find out a little bit more about it as we head back to Steve Snell, who can tell us a bit more.
One of the new initiatives this season with our partners Trade Nation is we thought we'd do something a little bit different. We haven't gone down the route of cardboard cutouts. We haven't got the Wurzels or Andy Hurry or even Marcus Sheskothic, the pictures of them in the stand. We've gone with these rather large targets, which I'm going to talk about. And what we're going to do, every time one of these targets is hit by the players, Trade Nation are going to donate £250 to charity, which of course is really exciting. And today's charity is Somerset Disability Cricket. and that is inclusive of Somerset visually impaired side, Somerset disability side, and our Super Ones initiative, which is a new and exciting scheme which helps young people to make cricket accessible. And I know from first-hand experience with some of the players that they've absolutely loved getting involved with this. But there's all kinds of different monetary values attributed to things today. So if a player hits a boundary at 4 runs, that's going to be £25 to Somerset Disability Cricket. If you hit a 6, that's going to be £50 to Somerset Disability Cricket. And as I've already mentioned, if you hit one of these big targets here, which should make a decent sound as well, that's £250. So really exciting, really generous of Trade Nation to get on board with this, and we're hoping to raise plenty of money for charity today. I've got Somerset head coach Jason Kerr with me, and obviously we're going to delve into tonight's game in a little bit of detail. But Jace, how difficult was it to pick up the guys after the defeat against Northamptonshire?
They've been great, to be fair. Obviously a disappointing result. It's only the first game in the competition, with the first one rained out, so there's some lessons learned. Hopefully we can put that right tonight.
It's a great opportunity for some of the younger players. I know we've been having a bit of banter probably for the last couple of days. I've been trying to get every academy player in the team from in my other role here, so I've been having a bit of a giggle about that. But in all seriousness, does Somerset benefit from having some significant international players, but some of which are away at the moment? So it's a great opportunity for other players to come in and stake their claim.
Yeah, we've seen that already in the 4-day campaign with the likes of Glamorgan scoring his maiden 100, contributing with the ball. Similar in this competition. So there's opportunity for Ben Green, Ollie Sale, who's put a huge amount of work into his white ball skills. So it's really exciting. I think we'll see some growth through this competition.
Yeah, absolutely. There's plenty to play for. Obviously, it's a fairly long competition which is condensed into a short period of time. I spoke a little bit to Tom Abel about how the team are looking to create their own intensity and atmosphere. Obviously, it's very strange. Nobody, apart from the celebrated few, being here due to COVID. But how have the management and the coaching staff gone about trying to actually encourage the guys to express themselves when there's nobody here to watch them?
Well, I think, firstly, it's very strange. There's no doubt we're incredibly well supported here at the county ground, and to play here, the first game in this campaign at home with no one here, is really strange. But the lads have been brilliant this year. They've created their own intensity by the standard and the brand of cricket that they've played. We saw that again at Northants, and I'm sure we'll see that again tonight.
Yeah, obviously it's Somerset have got a good tradition in T20 cricket, particularly with our overseas players of attracting and recruiting some really significant names. Babar Azam, obviously not here tonight. When can Somerset fans expect to see him in a Somerset shirt?
So Babar will be with us for the next game. So obviously he's playing at Old Trafford tonight against England, and then he'll join us. So he'll play, interestingly, against Worcester at Edgbaston. So it's a televised game, and that'll be his first outing for us.
Yeah, I'm sure many people are looking forward to watching him. It's, as we mentioned, it is a bit strange around the ground with nobody in the seats, but we have got the Trade Nation targets up there tonight. Has there been any banter about the lads about hitting them or smashing them down? I know Max Waller likes to tell us about his six-sitting prowess.
Well, I think firstly it's a brilliant initiative, and I think secondly all the lads are trying to get the money for themselves. We're glad Trez isn't here. He'd certainly be pushing for the players to get a percentage, but I think ultimately it's a brilliant initiative, and it gives us something to aim for.
Yeah, absolutely. I know there's been a little bit of chat amongst the players for that. Just briefly, just coming back to tonight's game. Obviously, Somerset won the toss and decided to field first. What was the reasoning behind that?
Well, we know traditionally it's a belting wicket here. It can be really difficult to defend, and we've got a short boundary one side tonight, so we felt that it's going to be a good wicket for 40 overs. There's no doubt about that. We were unsuccessful in chasing on Sunday, I think it was. So hopefully we can right a wrong tonight.
Yeah, no worries. Well, thanks, Jace. Thanks for joining us. We've got a short video we're going to push out from Trade Nation, and we'll be back to you very shortly. Yeah, I've mentioned tonight about Trade Nation being our new streaming partner. I'd like to introduce you to James White, who's played a significant role in brokering the deal with Trade Nation. James, before we get started, obviously, hopefully times aren't too hard and the trading's going okay, because you've got a fairly significant bank on your head there.
Yes, from being told trading's easy, hit my head against a brick wall. No, it's great to be here. We're, Trade Nation, I know, are really proud to be the streaming sponsor, and great, fans can't be here, but they're really pleased to be involved.
Yeah, absolutely. So from Trade Nation's perspective, what was the attraction in being involved in cricket? And then second part of that question, how can the people who are watching tonight's broadcast interact with Trade Nation? What's it all about?
Trading is about, Trade Nation is a trading platform. It enables people to trade the markets that they want to trade. You can go online and trade, whether it's whatever market in the world you want to operate. And it's a fast-paced industry, and that fits very well with Trade Nation and the T20. T20 is incredibly fast-paced. So the reality is, Trade Nation have been absolutely thrilled to be part of the Somerset work. They've sponsored the shirt in the county championship, and they're really encouraged about getting people to just have a look. Head over to tradenation.com, have a little look at what they do. There's also a great competition which we're offering, which is called Streaming Stars. So you can win a 15-inch TV and some Thatcher's goodies and some pizza and stuff to watch the game. We can't get the fans in it because of the obvious reasons, so we want to bring sure that the Trade Nation brings the cricket to the fans.
Yeah, you've just reminded me, actually, I'm actually devastated that I didn't speak to Tom Abel about whether he'd applied in the competition yet to win the 50-inch TV, the Craig of Thatcher's and some pizza. I know certainly some cricketers of yesteryear would be all over that.
Well, I think I'm certainly key for that now. But the whole idea is to bring, Trade Nation's all about trying to make sure it brings the game back to fans. So there's a great competition running every game. Get yourself down. The guys will put the link up onto the site and enter. You've got nothing to lose. We're going to basically later on, you and Charlie are going to announce who's won live on air. So if you've still got time to enter, you can get involved and see if you can win that 50-inch TV.
Yeah, I'm certainly trying to fix that draw somehow. I fancy a bit of that myself. But in terms of yourself, you're a Somerset fan as well. I think this isn't just about business. It's a passion for you too, isn't it?
It is, and I have a separate business. But when I had the opportunity to bring, Somerset I love my cricket, and when I had the opportunity to bring a client of mine, Trade Nation, in to work with the club, it was brilliant. And so far, Sam and the guys at the club have been brilliant. I know Stuart Lane, the CEO at Trade Nation, and the guys there are loving being partners. And it's a bit of a weird season, as we all know, but we're just trying to make sure we do as much of this and make it as best as we can.
Well, it's certainly great to have you on board. Right, back to the cricket for now. As I said, if you just joined us, Somerset have won the toss and decided to have a bowl. Which after this short video, we're going to be back up in the commentary box with Charlie Taylor, beg your pardon, and I can't wait to get going tonight.
horrible feeling that Steve Snell is going to be ribbing me for that drop catch, which is featured on the highlights. Here he comes now. Steve, as he gets towards his desk here, did you manage to see that, or were you? I'm hoping you're going to tell me that you didn't actually catch, like I didn't, the ball when it came out.
Well, unfortunately, I've missed that one, Charlie. I didn't manage to quite see it, but you know, we're all good at different things in life, aren't we? In terms, I know that it's been widely reported about your award-winning journalism, so it's great to see there's you know, a little chink in the armour as well.
I did notice they put award-winning in every single press release, so there's no pressure on tonight, clearly. I don't like to talk about it. So tonight we've got a really exciting game. Looking forward to this. Glamorgan and Somerset meet quite often, being that, you know, geographically fairly close, and this is how it tends to work in the early stages of the T20. You spoke to Jason and to Tom there, Jason Kerr, head coach, and Tom Abel, the captain. What are you feeling after coming back of the defeat against Northamptonshire? Do you feel that there is positivity there?
Yeah, I think, you know, Somerset are very confident at home always in T20 cricket, so absolutely think they've, you know, got absolutely a chance to put things right, definitely. So I think, you know, the record here is formidable. I think 10 out of 14 games that they've won, you know, the last historically. So I think looking to chase with a short boundary, generally knowing what you're looking to get, unless you're kind of, the opposition gets kind of 250 plus. I do think it's an advantage if the wicket, you know, maintains the same level of bounce and pace, which I've got no reason to suggest it won't. So yeah, really looking forward to tonight. And T20 cricket, you know, it's fun, it's exciting, and the players have a chance to express themselves with bat and ball. And I know that from Tom and Jason's thoughts, they'll definitely be looking to do that tonight. Yeah,
and it looks like a good pitch as well. We saw your report there looking into it. Just to say, these tees across the ground here, well, the tee ends really across the ground. Those are really exciting. If those get hit in the ground today by a six from any team, that's 250 quid going towards the Somerset disability squads, to the visually impaired squads as well, and also you'll see that going towards the Super Ones as well, which is a group set up across the county. It's going on in loads of different places to help people, disadvantaged children in particular, get into cricket. Let's find a little bit more now about the disability squads in Somerset.
Hello, my name is Alan and I'm part of the Somerset Vision Impaired Cricket Club. The cricket club was set up 10 years ago to provide both sporting and social opportunities for people with a vision impairment. The club has helped me play a sport that I love all over the country and to meet other vision impaired individuals. Any money raised would be greatly appreciated and would help us cover costs of accommodation, transport, pitch hire and kit. Thank you very much.
Hi everybody, my name is Nick. I'm part of Somerset Disabled Cricket Club squad for the last 12 years now, and captain of the first team for the last 4 years. On the pitch, the club has given me countless opportunities that I've been very, very lucky to experience, but off the pitch is where we really pride ourselves. We try and make every player feel involved and feel included of something very special, and part of that is a family atmosphere, but also part of that is a Somerset cricket shirt with their initials on, which obviously any monetary contribution will go a long way to us providing that for every new player and every current player. When we get new sponsors, we need to get new shirts. Also, training shirts is something that we really want to introduce, and warm-up gear, so we can arrive to new games wearing the same kit, so we all feel part of the squad. Ground hire is another thing that can be very expensive for us, so any monetary contribution that you're considering for Somerset Disabled Cricket Club would be very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Hello guys, my name is Connor. I've been going to Level 1 Super 1's cricket club for about a year now. It's a very great place to start your cricket experience that teachers at the cricket club is very great, and they show you a lot of techniques, and each week you will get better and better. I made some really great friends. It will boost your confidence up to me.
Well, just a little bit there about the disabled squad for Somerset. Let's take a look at the pitch now. Steve Snell's been taking a look at the pitch for us.
Welcome to the Cooper Associates County Ground for our first Trade Nation live T20 streaming of the season. It's Somerset v Glamorgan, the weather is set fair, it's absolutely cracking here at the Cooper Associates County Ground. Just a quick pitch report, I'll take you down to pitch level, and the wicket looks pretty hard and pretty firm. There's a little bit of grass on it, but I don't see the wicket changing much throughout the day today. But whoever wins the toss has got a fairly difficult decision to make. One thing that might come into play for Tom Abel at the toss, a very short boundary to one side underneath the retirement flats. And both teams, I think, are going to be looked at targeting that today. But yes, join us. It's going to be a fun-filled day today. We've got Trade Nation targets, 250.
Yeah, it's just a...
Oh.
Well, welcome to Taunton. If you are just joining us, it is live coverage here of Somerset against Glamorgan. Somerset won the toss and chosen to bowl. It's Max Waller first up from the river end, and this one just tapped onto the leg side, and there'll be a single to get us going here on the live stream. I'm Charlie Taylor. I am with Steve Snell, who's just been looking at the pitch for us there. Steve, and judging by what you're saying there, it looks like a good T20 wicket.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like it's going to have plenty of pace and bounce in it. A little bit dry, but the wickets here for one day and T20 cricket are usually very good. Max Waller, obviously, as mentioned, opening the bowling, and it's not a fad anymore. Most teams have spinners bowling that first over of the game, and yeah, he's used to taking that responsibility now.
So there's a big shout and gone. Second ball. Somerset have their first wicket at home, and it's the second ball of the game, and off goes Douthwaite. Just taking a look. Now on the replay here, this is a great start for Somerset. Max Waller with his second ball of the day, and as you can see, it's pretty full, pretty straight, and he's missed it. Yeah, I think that's a good decision from the look of that. And Douthwaite has gone for his first ball. It's 1 for 1 Glamorgan here, and that's a perfect start, Steve.
Yeah, what a great start for Max Waller. I think he's asked the batsman a great question. First ball to the right-hander Douthwaite, and it looked like that was hitting the top of off stump, just spinning back in there. And wickets kill you in the power play, and that couldn't be any more salmon trout out than that. And as just mentioned before, Max Waller, he's used to that responsibility now in T20 cricket. Not a huge spinner of the ball, but my word, he can be accurate just in with those subtle variations as well, but certainly puts the pressure on Glamorgan. I think one of the things you have to keep doing if you're an opening batter in the power play, or even a number 3, now you've got to keep going, take advantage of those fielding restrictions, particularly with that short boundary. But Somerset will be absolutely delighted with that. And yeah, former Somerset player Blackie, he's in the game straight away, isn't he?
Yeah, great start. It just puts Glamorgan on the back foot now, already thinking about these wickets. In comes Waller again. And that one defended, and there's no run there. So a great start for Somerset. I'll be really pleased with that. And what's even good news as well is that the sky is clear blue, the shadows across the ground. So we'll just push forwards.
Yeah, Balburney, who is the Irish overseas player for Glamorgan, is in. Obviously, he's got some really good experience now in playing T20 competitions all the way around the world, so he'll be a dangerous customer for Glamorgan tonight. And obviously Billy Root at the other end, not quite as well known yet as his brother, but obviously trying to make his own way in the game. And that's to see Max Waller there, just not bowling a leg spinner, just firing one in to leg side, quicker ball, just making sure the batsmen can't line him up. He'll do that from time to time.
Just variations, isn't it? Just keeps the batsman thinking, not able to settle and rely on the ball to either spin or not. It's something that Max has made his career out of, really, the last few years, become a white ball specialist.
Certainly from myself and you, Charlie, what absolute pleasure it is to be here tonight, isn't it? I feel very privileged, one of the 15 people who are in the ground tonight.
It's a full toss, and that one just pushed into the leg side. Felt like could have gone heavier at that, perhaps. That first wicket just means that you're a little bit more cautious when you see a full toss coming, instead of really going hammer and tongs, just holding back a little bit. That's the first over bowled, 4 for 1. It's a great start for Somerset.
Yes, certainly. If you bowled that ball on a Saturday, that would be in the Cow Corner. Certainly at Axbridge Cricket Club, Charlie, where you play. Yeah, did hear you got a few runs at the weekend, but Max Waller will be absolutely delighted with that. Just 4 off the first over. I do think the power play is going to be crucial. It's mentioned it's a privilege to be here tonight. One of the things I'm really excited about seeing is Somerset's fielding display. I'm going to probably put the mockers on them now, but I know through some of the work they do in the week with all the coaching staff, we've got a really athletic, dynamic side, and these guys put in an awful lot of shift in a week working on their fielding, so hopefully we'll see those levels of quality, athleticism and skill tonight.
We've got quite a few young players in there, haven't they? And I mean, even Craig Overton, who's about to bowl now for his first over, he's only 26, so to have him as one of the more experienced players just shows that Somerset have got a lot of youth on their side, and that helps in the field.
He's almost a veteran at 26, Craig Overton now, isn't he?
So thick edge on that one, it'll run down to third man.
A little bit of a nibble there from Craig Overton. What did Jason Kerr mentioned at the pre-match interview? Just it was an opportunity to have a look at some other players. He mentioned Ollie Sale, with some of those guys away playing international T20 cricket, Babar Azam, Tom Banton. Certainly it's a chance for the younger players to stake a bit of a claim, I think, such as Tom Banton's done in the England T20 side.
Absolutely, and that is on the back of what was a great season last year for Somerset, and you can really see him playing well for his county has led to that England call-up, and there he is, all sorts of pundits saying how well he did for England. As Overton's in again. Defended, he's hard to get away, Craig Overton. He's been brilliant in the red ball cricket for Somerset this year. And just got another chance to look at that wicket in the second ball of the first over. Fantastic start.
Yeah, Max Waller absolutely loved this slow motion replay, Charlie. He fancies himself as a bit of an Instagram star, so the Baywatch slow motion probably doing him no favours whatsoever. But that looks about as good as it can be, doesn't it?
It's nice and straight, and actually no hesitation from Ian Blackwell, the umpire, as Overton comes in again. And that one is down the leg side, will be given as a wide. Not far away from the bat though.
Yeah, we've got umpire Jeremy Lloyds with Ian Blackwell tonight. So we've got Richard Ellison, who's the match referee as well. Certainly must be have some common sense from the ECB prevailing in to get some locally based officials in as much as they can. I'm sure that's the same countrywide, just cutting down on that petrol mileage. I know the ECB need to cut down on the expenditure. So yeah, absolutely, not much petrol expenses for Lloyds and Blackie this year.
Overton in. That one is a big swipe at it. He's missed it, beaten the outside edge. No run there for Billy Root. For those who haven't watched much of the live streams yet, perhaps not been watching the Bob Willis Trophy, it'll be perhaps a bit of a surprise to see the number 7 on Craig Overton's bat. It's a change for him. Used to be number 12. I guess that's Peter Trigo freeing up the number 7 number, and Craig getting in there as soon as he can. So slight difference for the squad numbers this year as he's in again. And there's some of that great fielding there. Straight away, it just reflexes down quickly for such a tall man to get down there that quickly is fantastic work from Craig Overton.
Yeah, he's such an athlete, Craig, in terms of in the field. There aren't many fast bowlers, as a dynamic and all-round good in the field as Craig is. You mentioned about the number. It's not quite CR7, is it, in terms of, the branding, but CO7, not too bad. But
sounds like a chemical formula, CO7.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, but I think certainly Craig's formula is just to bash the top of off stump as often as you can and let the batter make a mistake, and he does that to great effect.
To the left-hander, Billy Root, he flicks this one out into the leg side, and that's Van der Merwe on the boundary fielding that one.
Yeah, Somerset be absolutely delighted with the start so far, not having gone from a boundary yet, and almost, I guess, as the away team sometimes in football they talk about keeping the crowd quiet. Obviously that's not a problem today, but just that atmosphere and keeping the batters quiet, Somerset will be really happy about that. Craig has bowled so far and over with no width whatsoever. He's giving the batter no easy score balls, and the scoreboard at 7 for 1 is reflecting that.
In the air, safe. This one may well be the first boundary of the day. It is clipped out through the mid-wicket area, and that is the first 4 of the day. Glamorgan move into double figures, 11 for 1, and that's the overseas player Balbirnie. Here's a replay, just hitting that one into the leg side. It was in the air though, not a particularly safe shot, but past the field in the inside ring and over the boundary there.
Yeah, it's a really strong shot from Balbirnie. It wasn't a bad ball at all by Craig Overton. That just back of a length, and Balbirnie's predicting that and just working one off his hip. But yeah, I guess we new feature this year. We've got the commentary cam. I'm stood in front of our new partners, Trade Nation, just modelling this this board.
Showing off your chinos there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just showing off the new. I tell you what, we need to have a little chat with the club, Charlie, about the wardrobe, don't we? There's no wardrobe expenses on offer today. So
where's the makeup?
I'll be pitching at the same T-shirt and the same pair of trousers on Friday, which I think is our next stream.
As long as you wash them. It won't affect anyone at home, but for me it'd be quite nice if you could. So it'll be Ollie Sale then from the River End, taking over from Waller. This one's in the air as well, clipped onto the leg side by Billy Root. And it's Craig Overton fielding there, and there's just the single.
It's superb to see Ollie Sale getting an opportunity. I think this is his third T20 for Somerset. Having a bit of a joke with Tom Abel earlier that he resembles Chris Hemsworth a little bit, from that movie Thor. He's such a big lad. He came back from Australia with long flowing locks, and his upper body strength had almost doubled. But he's been on the Somerset staff for a while, Ollie, and now he's finally getting a chance to show what he can do. And all the best to him. But he certainly does wing them down there with good pace.
Yeah, he's long flowing locks. That's not a lockdown thing either. That was there before COVID came around. He's over the wicket again. This one clips onto the leg side. It's in the air. It will go for 4, I think. It's another £25 for charity there, with those 2 4s getting hit so far today.
Yeah, who's going to keep a tally of that? With my C in GCSE maths, Charlie. I think 2 times 25 is almost about the extent of that. But again, the short boundary there. I'm not sure Trade Nation quite realised that the size of the boundaries here at Taunton when they entered into this charity partnership.
Yeah, especially with some of the big hitters that Somerset have. If Banton does get some games once he's away from the England squad, and Azam as well. Not to mention Abel. Here comes Sale, and that one just defended high by Balbirnie there. No run.
Yeah, it's obviously quite a big game for both teams. And let's chat a little bit about Glamorgan. Obviously, it's kind of the Matt Maynard derby, the former head coach coming back here. I'm sure he'll reflect back on his time at Somerset with some fond memories. But having Somerset lost their second game in the competition after the first game was washed out, and Glamorgan having a washout and then winning their second game, obviously to gain some momentum and I guess push up the table is really important for both sides.
Sale again, that one flashed out on a wide-ish one there, and it will go for 4 again from the Irish captain, Balbirnie. He moves on to 15, the score 20 for 1. It's another £25 for charity. It's going to add up. We've got a replay of this one for you. Keep an eye on the width offered here from Sale. Just allowed Balbirnie to flash through it, get a thick edge, just taking it out towards the point boundary. Not bad batting when you see that width offered. 20 for 1. So this is a better ball. This one flicked onto the leg side. Well fielded as well, just on the boundary. And it's Eddie Byram out there. There's an attempt at a run out. Wasn't far away. Ollie Sale couldn't take it cleanly at the bowler's end. The score moves 22 for 1.
Somerset got a reasonable amount of experience tonight, as well as some of the younger players. Steve Davis has got the gloves. Obviously, Tom Banton away with England duty. I guess Somerset fans will be moderately pleased to hear that Babar Azam is saving all his runs for Somerset when he comes back and joins us for the game on Thursday against Worcestershire. Can't wait to see him in full flight for Somerset again. As Sale looks like he's going to get a wicket here. It's chopped up in the air. It's going to be a catch. Green underneath it. And what a simple catch. Balbirnie has gone, and what a great wicket that is for Somerset. Sale had offered a little bit of width in that over, bangs it in short. Balbirnie failing to control the pace and bounce of Sale and become an easy catch for, I think it was, Ben Green with a dodgy kind of Russian-style moustache. Sorry for any Russian fans that are tuning into this stream, but very 80s that from Ben Green, but certainly nothing 80s about the catch.
No, it's a great start. It was still in the power play, not even halfway through it. 2 overs and 5 balls in. And Somerset have taken their second wicket. It's 22 for 2, and that's the dangerous Balbirnie. He's a very good player for Ireland. Good signing by Glamorgan this year under difficult circumstances. You'd have to say Somerset, probably out of all the teams, have done pretty well to get Babar Azam, but good for Glamorgan to get Balbirnie, but he's gone. Dismissed for 17. And Somerset in control here. This is a great start for them. We are under the floodlights. They've not really taken effect yet. You can just see the multiple shadows from the players there. But as the evening gets darker, which it will happen quite quickly now, we're much later in the season than normal for the T20s, so they will get dark quite quickly.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that when you wake up in the morning. That dew that's experienced in Somerset in late August, early September dew. Should be thinking of walking around in flip-flops and shorts. That's certainly not the case. But Chris Cook, he's not in his flip-flops and shorts. He's got his bat there out in the middle, as you'd hope. You wouldn't want to be facing Craig Overton in a pair of Havianas, would you? But he had a great start to his T20 campaign, 50 odd I think against Gloucestershire. He's the Glamorgan captain. He's going to be a key figure tonight for Glamorgan for sure. Overton in again. He's probably going to look to bang another hard leg slip in as well, and he's down the leg side. The metronomic Overton, you don't see that very often. That's a wide, signalled by umpire Jeremy Lloyds.
Yeah, there's no leeway, is there, in T20 cricket? If it's anything down the leg side, it's gone, even though actually they're not always bad balls down the leg side. That one wasn't Craig's best, but yeah, that one given as a wide. So we're 3 overs in. It's 23 for 2, halfway through this first power play at Taunton. It's Overton in again. It's a much better ball. Just having to force Cook into a defensive push out there.
Meant to say, Charlie, if anyone does want to interact with the commentary team tonight, please send in your tweets to @SomersetCCC. Myself, Steve Snell, and Charlie Taylor, and manning not only the commentary box but the Twitter account tonight. For feel free to engage with us, and also we've got the streaming style hashtag. So please send us your view where you're watching the live stream from. I've already had a couple of tweets. Some people watching from the Bahamas. Obviously, must be some of the fans down with their second homes in the West Country somewhere. But yeah, there's some people watching this game from some very obscure places. It just shows the level of interest in Somerset cricket. There's a hard length ball from Craig Overton. He's certainly somebody you wouldn't want to be facing on a Sunday afternoon at Axbridge, would it, Charlie?
No, certainly not. No. As you mentioned, I was at the crease for a very long time to come away with only 15 runs. So that happened on Sunday. Still quite proud. In comes Overton, and that's a straight ball straight into the stumps actually. And there was a bit of a shout there. I wondered whether Craig Overton might have just got a hand on it, and if he had, I think that would have been the end of the captain, Chris Cook. He was out of his ground. I think it was close, but no touch on it. Craig Overton didn't react. Just a quick one. Thank you to Rudan, who has been in touch on Twitter. He says commentator cam is a nice new addition. That's good. We were wondering whether we might get booed off stage, but clearly not. It's nice. She says, reckon Ben Green has got a Borat tash. In comes Overton. That's a straight ball again, straight back to the bowler, and again he's quick on it, catches it cleanly this time. No run.
Yeah, I think he's being kind with that as well. I think Borat certainly wore it better, but absolutely, I'm absolutely loving the initiative by the club. I'm biased because we're involved, but the fact that with Trade Nation on board, that every boundary is raising some money for charity, and such an amazing charity as well as Somerset Disability Cricket. So many people benefiting out of that. So certainly proud to be involved with this initiative. But almost loyalty's a little bit split with Glamorgan batting, hoping for a few boundaries. There's a bit more money donated to charity.
It does. It makes you think twice, doesn't it, about that? With that money going, with every 4 is £25, every 6. 50 quid for the chosen charity, which today, as Steve said, is Somerset Disability Squads, the Visually Impaired Squad, and the Somerset Super Ones as well. They do some great work helping people in the county play cricket. Cricket's such a great sport for everyone. It's really inclusive. And so to help people throughout this big county play the sport is fantastic to see. So all that money, and if we see the TNs around the stands getting hit, that is £250 straight away going to that charity. Overton in. Defended. We should say as well, it's 25 for 2 here at Taunton. It's Charlie Taylor, Steve Snell with you on commentary of this T20 group game. Somerset taking on Glamorgan. We're just taking a look at the this run-out chance now. With Craig Overton came in, did he get a touch on it? Yeah, he would have been miles out. Chris Cook had Craig Overton managed just to scrape a fingernail onto it, but just evading him. It's going to be Josh Davey, who's been brought in for Jamie Overton in this match. He's going to be taking on the next over, coming from the River End. We should say as well, there's a chance for you to win big at the interval. We'll tell you more about that in a moment. Here comes Davey, who's been very good with red ball cricket. No run there.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got that competition going on. I know we're quite ant and deck, are we, Charlie, with Saturday night takeaway? But where we are on a Wednesday night in Taunton, which
Tuesday night, Steve. Yeah,
Tuesday night takeaway with Charlie and Steve. Very Somerset, isn't it? Crater Thatchers.
Some pizza. Yeah, not to mention the massive TV, smart TV. You can get a chance to win that. Take a look at the information on the Somerset website. There's Trade Nation as well. So big edge and gone. Another wicket here. Josh Davey picks one up in his first over. It's his second ball, and it's Billy Root who's gone for 5. This is a fantastic start from Somerset here. 25 for 3. They mean business.
Yeah, the last over of the power play, well, it's not the last over of the power play, I beg your pardon, there's 2. I'm getting ahead of myself, but yeah, Billy Root just trying to create a bit of width from what is a straight Josh Davey ball. Somerset have brought the stumps into play really effectively so far tonight, and that was another simple catch for the heavily moustached Ben Green at cover, and Somerset are on fire here at 25 for 3. Wickets in the power play, as we mentioned earlier, absolutely fundamental to the bowling team's success, and Tom Abel, having won the toss and looked to chase, which you can look at as a fairly defensive move. You know, a lot of sides do like to get the runs on the board in T20 cricket. I know England chased very effectively the other night under Owen Morgan's charge, but certainly Somerset are well on top here.
Yeah, this is really good. 3 wickets gone, and we're only just into the 5th over, so Somerset starting very strongly. When, as you say, when you win the toss and bowl, you expect to make breakthroughs. If you don't get a breakthrough in that power play, it just gives the batting side such optimism going into the rest of the game. It gets them in. Those opening batsmen get in. They score runs quickly on this quick outfield and shorter boundaries. It's Carlson, the new batsman, and Davey will continue as defended. So a great start for Somerset, and Ben Green getting involved with a couple of catches already, the ball following him around the field.
Yeah, the lights are on here at Taunton. I just having a bit of a nosy outside the commentary box, Charlie, to see what I could see. And there's a few people in the retirement flats to our left who are kind of, I guess, undesignated spectators there by living arrangement, which must be absolutely fantastic. I never thought when they bought that apartments, that's the only way of watching the cricket. So absolute kudos to those of the head cricket planning. I'm sure lots of people would absolutely love to have that view there. Josh Davey, huge appeal there. The little ball just sliding down the leg side off Carlson, I do believe. But yeah, just looking at the flats, there's a Somerset flag there out in the distance, which is great to see. Not too many gin and tonics. It look like a couple of cups of tea on the balcony there for the spectators. I wonder if anyone's kind of sneakily just selling a few tickets or getting a few extra friends and family over to watch a bit of cricket. I know they shouldn't really be encouraging that at all, but a little bit of business on the side there. It's Davey again, who's very, very accurate, and he just worked off his hit by Carlson for a single. I think the other person that I was looking to find, if the cameraman can get a shot of Brian the Cat. I know he's famous around Somerset parts, and what I need to kind of work out is whether Brian the Cat is actually a man or a woman, because Brian actually looked fairly heavily pregnant last time I saw him, or whether the chefs are overfeeding him.
I've spoken to people about that. I know the answer to that. Brian was named Brian before the gender was known, put it that way. It was a bit of a surprise, I think, to all involved.
I know it's a great shot down the ground this time by Cook, taking advantage of a fuller ball from Josh Davey, really punching that down. It's a classical shot, but yeah, it's hardly kind of Ruth Rendell or Agatha Christie style mysteries, is it? But if you have seen any pictures of Brian the Cat on the club's Twitter page, I think there could be a few more Brians floating around in the very near future. I do kind of worry about who's going to look after them. Maybe we shouldn't get into that.
Well, I think that's exciting. After all the bad news so far this year with the virus, I think it's nice. There's some good news. It'd just be interesting to see whether they all sort of take to the cricket ground like Brian has.
I will have a short disclaimer that there's no kind of veterinary qualifications that have taken place from, Brian could just be heavily overfed, but he did look, just slightly more healthy than morbidly obese. Poor little guy or girl.
I think I've seen picture. I think she or he is around tonight. I have to keep an eye out.
Ollie Sale's going to change ends.
That's good. Let's
anyway.
Get back to the cricket.
Let's move on. He's got Ben Green stood next to him actually now at mid-off, which could be a good omen given that 2 catches have gone to Ben already. Somerset really on top here, 30 for 3. This is a big over, last over of the power play.
Just onto the pads there from Ollie Sale, who's been pretty good early in his career here for Somerset. Unmistakable now with that long flowing blonde hair and the headband on as well. He just he's always as when I've spoken to him before and when I've sort of met up with him, seen him at sort of the photograph shoots they do at the start of the season, he's always enjoyed that side of things. I think getting the look right. That one's down the leg side, so that one will be a wide.
Offending people on Twitter already. Apologise to the Somerset Crockle, not in the Caribbean or independently wealthy, I'm afraid, boys. An international teacher in Bermuda waiting to leave quarantine to go back to work for the first time in 5.5 months. It is warmer over there, though. But I'll tell you what, I will say, Charlie and I mentioned at the start, we're so privileged to be able to bring you this broadcast because we know that so many of you would absolutely love to be here and you can't. But what is great that Somerset are actually playing some cricket, and Glamorgan, of course, and we're able to bring you this first to this Trade Nation live streaming from the Cooper Associates County Ground. And we're absolutely loving it so far. Glamorgan 32 for 3, Ollie Sale looking like Thor and bowling thunderbolts back of a length.
Thank you to Taunton Dean Cricket Club, which is Jack Leach's club. So going well so far, Charlie and Steve. England highlights for us later on. We're watching live the Somerset game tonight. Much more important, they say. Quite right. And thank you to L. Graham Smith, not the South African Graham Smith. Says no snacks tonight, but watching from Ontario in Canada.
Yeah, not that I was going to compare us to any of these salubrious commentators at all, Charlie, but I was listening to a podcast on one of the celebrated radio stations not so long ago. They talked about John Arlott, how all the cakes to the radio station started just by mentioning that he wanted some cake and he was hungry. So I might just put it out there in terms of some sort of sushi or anything like that anybody wants to bring us.
Don't know how they'd get it in.
They can't get it in, to be fair. That's absolutely right. Deliveroo,
yeah.
I'm sure we can mention them.
It's a big shot. It's a big shot onto the leg side. Dropped a bit short from Ollie Sale and punished. The first 6 we've seen tonight. That's 50 quid for the Somerset Disability Squad. And that is a huge shot from Chris Cook. He moves on to 11.
Yeah, but it gives me a lot of confidence in the pitch. So he was able to play that shot. There's quite a long boundary out there as well. Craig Overton, who is about 8'7", that still went high over his head, so he was unable to claw that back in. So it gives me a lot of hope that the pitch is looking very good indeed. Sailing again, this time slightly fuller, back of a length, and there's no run. Cook looking to be quite aggressive here. This is the last ball of the power play coming up from the headband warrior Ollie Sale. I guess the headbands aren't niche anymore, Charlie, are they? They're all wearing them. All the wannabe Axl Roses in professional cricket.
Is that what Ollie Sale is? Is he wannabe Axl Rose?
Well, certainly Somerset, at risk of some bad puns, are near enough Paradise City for this first 6 overs, and that is for sure. 39 for 3. What a start for Somerset.
Yep, great start. 39 for 3, and if you're watching us at home, we can improve that for you. We can make it even better experience for you, because there is your chance to win a huge smart TV. There is also Thatcher's cider in there, pizza as well. All you've got to do is head on to the website, the Somerset County Cricket Club website, for details there. It's also on their Facebook page and on Twitter as well. And it just sounds like an amazing prize. We're going to draw a winner at the interval, so you've got to get involved now. Look through all the T's and C's there. You'll be able to see everything you need. But TV, pizza, Thatcher's, sounds
Somerset
great.
live stream, sat in your pants watching Somerset live stream with on a 50-inch screen with some Thatcher's and some pizza. Absolutely brilliant.
All from Trade Nation. You can follow them on Twitter. That one is full of ball and just pushed into the leg side for a single.
Yeah, so Glamorgan going to have to be tactically smart in terms of how they're going to approach the next 14 overs with 3 men already been and gone. You know, they have to start thinking tactically. They're going to be courageous enough to keep going hard, particularly with that short boundary. I think there's been one boundary that side, just to the left of square leg, off a Craig Overton off-length ball, and I think Glamorgan going to be a little bit disappointed so far, and they need to kind of get their skates on. Certainly when there's a short boundary, sorry Charlie, it's any width on offer or any length to get underneath it. You certainly see professional batsmen very quick on to try and take advantage of that. We haven't really seen that intent from Glamorgan tonight. We've got to give some credit to the Somerset bowlers as well. In particular, Craig Overton bowled a superb length in the overs that he's bowled so far. 2 overs just for 10 runs. Max Waller first over went for 4 runs, and Josh Davies only gone for 6 so far in his 1.2 overs. So a lot of credit's got to go to the line and length of the Somerset bowlers.
Here comes again that one, fielded by George Bartlett there, and just the single added. Just going to watch that 6 again, see how cleanly he picked it up. Yeah, nice shot coming out of the meat of the bat for Chris Cook, the captain.
Loving a few of the tweets that are coming in. Harbour Chiropractic just sneaking in a couple of overs between patients at work. So
nice.
That's a very good streaming in style. Certainly tweet from your seats. Yeah, absolutely. Use that hashtag, keep involving. I was absolutely loving seeing where you're watching from tonight. Charlie, obviously, and myself in this privileged position here. But yes, it's been a good start for Somerset so far. Quite tactically how Tom Abel's going to bring his bowlers into play as well. I don't think it'll be too long before we see Roelof van der Merwe. And I think certainly he'll bowl this end. The Marcus Trescothic Pavilion end now?
Yeah, officially now. Renamed, yeah.
Officially now. I'll get in my ear very quickly from the powers that be at the club if I've announced news that I shouldn't, but I think that's all out there.
So just a chip shot, really. Just a single from it, and we're seeing quite a lot of that at the moment. Not really finding those boundaries all that easily. Thank you to Dave, who's been in touch. We're talking about Brian the cat. Maybe it should be renamed Bryony, is the suggestion. Thanks, Dave. You can find us #StreamingStyle at Somerset CCC. If you want to find us on Twitter, you can tag in as well at It's Trade Nation. We'd love to see where you're watching it from. Show us your setup as well. If you've got it on your big TVs at home or on your computer screens, let us know. There'll be Davey in, and that one just tucks up the batsman there. There'll be attempts at the throw. No, in the end, the batsman to get through for a single. So 44 for 3. That's the end of the power. The 7 overs, first 7 overs done. And just to say, you can see there, it's 28 times 200 or more has been scored. It's the most from any venue in the competition. So that's here, 28 times. I guess that does bring into to focus those short boundaries. Really, it's not one of the biggest outfields in the county circuit.
Yeah, also I think sometimes it's a ground that suits your eye as a batter because it's fairly enclosed and the wicket's generally good in one-day cricket. Almost it feels as though that it's shorter than it actually is. So actually it suits the eye. You feel like you can hit the ball into the stands, which any bowler fills them with dread and any batter enjoys. But I hate to say I told you so here, Charlie, but Roelof van der Merwe is coming on from this end, is in the game, and it makes sense to the right-hander with the long boundary, that leg side, and he'll be looking to bowl fairly straight, I'm sure, and he does that first ball, and he's clipped off Cook's toes for a single. Sandra is watching in Geneva, Switzerland. Sandra, I'm sure at some point we'll get that the Somerset cricket needs to be watched in the Geneva Convention. That sounds about right. I know there's plenty of people who are interested in cricket in Switzerland. Played actually in St Moritz myself once. Cricket on ice. It was absolutely fabulous out there. It's just outside edge from Roelof van der Merwe. Steve Davis tidies up. Yeah, we had took some. Well, I say, going to make myself sound posh here. Nothing to do with me, but I was a short-term replacement. I think for John Lewis. I was a tour. I went with the Gloucestershire Gypsies. I say that quietly. And we ended up playing cricket out on ice in St Moritz, and we're horse racing on ice as well, which is absolutely fantastic out there. Run down to deep mid-wicket. Craig Overton does the fielding. I have to be honest, it was 3 or 4 days where I didn't get an awful lot of sleep, but great times. And yeah, I remember being very, very cold playing cricket with Peter Scudamore on ice. Very bizarre.
I need to find out a bit more about how ice cricket works. We're just slipping over all the time. Van der Merwe in. And just pushed out into the offside. Thank you to John, who's been in touch on Twitter. Great live stream and commentary. Keep it up. And Jem as well. Seriously impressed with this Somerset stream. You've reached Dubai as well. Just missing an iced cold Thatcher's Haze. Probably not too many of those in Dubai, I'd have thought, for various reasons. But Jem, thank you. Appreciate you getting in touch. It's a better shot this time. Just played out fiercely by Carlson. He picks up a single.
Somerset be really happy with these ones. The fielders, Tom Abel sitting on the edge of the ring, so is Eddie Byram. Ben Green, almost the Russian-looking mafia, is down there at long on with his moustache and mullet. But yeah, Roelof van der Merwe just moving his short fine leg just straight to it. I think he's going to try and fire this one into the toes. He gives it a bit more air actually. Tom Abel attacks the ball at extra cover, and there's 1 run. But superb over from Roelof van der Merwe. That's 49 for 3. Off 8 overs, Somerset really on top here. Robert Rugman has mentioned that he's entered the competition and he would love a new big telly. Also, Tom Judge is saying, how can I enter the competition? Well, certainly if you go to the link on the Somerset Twitter page or the Somerset website, that will give you all you need to know there, Tom. Best chance of winning big TV or some pizza.
Just seeing George Bartlett there on our offside or leg side game. You can play along with those at home. Love to see your streams. Thank you to Chriso, who's been in touch. He says, cheers, hashtag streaming style with Charlie and Steve. Thanks for the heads up. Never mind Brian. Finn's not too impressed with Glamorgan at 39 for 3 after 6 overs. So clearly a Glamorgan fan here. And he sent me a picture of his setup. He's got TV showing the stream with his cat. I guess that's Finn watching the game so far. Great to hear from you, Chriso. This one is Green coming in to start his first over. And it's well stopped by Tom Abel in the field, who's one of the club's best fielders. I know there's probably a bit of competition between him and Max Waller over who is the quickest over the ground and the best catcher, but
yeah, somehow I seem to always get embroiled in that kind of those kind of videos that we do, kind of and they're as competitive as they're made out to be.
Right.
And it generally carries on for days and days, the banter between them.
Shot. That's
not too far away from the Trade Nation target. That was nearly 250 quid to the Somerset Disability. I might even go and knock that target over myself. I'm not sure if James, who's here on behalf of Trade Nation, whether he saw that at all. We might have to convince him that just grazed off the side.
I tell you what, that's the closest we've got so far to the 250 quid being given away to the charities.
Jeremy Flight has tweeted, he's meant to be finishing the ironing, but he's finding himself sitting on the sofa instead, streaming in style and watching Somerset CC start, which is great. Great to have you. Neil Thompson's watching Lewis bowl for England while watching Somerset. Ideal. Keep it up, lads.
Great stop there from Ben Green. That would have hurt a bit, I think. Or at least stung for a second. Brian the Cat has actually been in touch as well. Says, this is how I'm watching. So he's got a projector sorted out, Brian the Cat. He's or she's all right.
I do need to find out who's behind that Twitter account. I love Dave Sandy's tweet. It said, has Stumpy been furloughed? I love the fact also in my life that the word furlough hasn't been mentioned for at least 2 hours as Ben Green is in again. The moustache, Ben Green, and Somerset bowling really effectively here, Charlie, being really smart with their fields and their length, making Glamorgan just hit the fielders on the boundary, giving no room whatsoever. Looking at a really well-oiled, well-drilled unit. I'm going to have to give Jason Kerr some stick at some point because he did tell me he might be listening tonight, so I'm sure I'll find something to nitpick at a little bit later. But so far it's been a really good start from Somerset.
Thank you, Sam, as well, who's been in touch saying comfortably the best live stream. Thank you. Was it 2 ties over the weekend? Hoping we can rule that out tonight. And comes Green straight back to him, and there was a dive and attempt. I think it might have been a bump ball, but it was a good effort. And it's Tom Abel who's finishing off the fielding effort there. And in the end, no run, 56 for 3. We're coming to the end of the 9th over.
It's always hard to know what's a good score batting first in T20 cricket, particularly when you've got a short boundary. You think you've got to be quite aggressive at that, and then you end up going quite hard, losing a few wickets as Glamorgan have done, and then having to try and rebuild for the rest of the innings to try and get a score on the board. So they're pretty hard to gauge in terms of what Glamorgan's tactics are, but certainly Somerset will be happy.
Now this is catchable and gone. Another wicket for Somerset. It's Max Waller who rarely drops them. Let's take another look at that. That was that
one just kind of popped out, I think we'll see from here. Waller, there was no pace on the ball whatsoever. And as the ball went up in the air, Max Waller, it just peeked its head out of Max Waller's hands. His heart was just bumping a little bit. Yeah, it wasn't kind of quite in the guts, as he'd like to say. And Max, I know from some of the fielding drills that we've done in the past, his line is, if it's in the air, it's out, meaning that he catches everything. So whenever he kind of doesn't, tend to give him a bit of stick. But good wicket there for Somerset. Carlson not really making a huge amount of impact in the game there, but nonetheless Somerset will be happy to see the back of him.
Yeah, any of these wickets going down just brings you closer to that middle and lower order. So Somerset with still over half of the game here, this half of the innings to go, have already taken those 4 wickets, only 56 on the board. This is a great start from Somerset, who after a disappointing couple of games, just the defeat plus the washout so far, will be delighted with how this game's gone so far. Cook's still there, he's the danger man on 24. But Carlson gone for 5, and it's Taylor coming in now to accompany his captain. So Somerset certainly on the front foot here. Callum Taylor will face up this next delivery, and it will be the man who's just taken the catch. It'll be Max Waller bowling the next over.
Just lost the head off my microphone there, Charlie, as you were talking. I know that Somerset haven't provided any food tonight. They're not allowed to under the COVID protocols, but not quite that hungry. They've eaten the top of the microphone as of yet.
Now, I saw you tucking into some lunch before we got going. So just see about Max Waller now, effective against right-handers and left-handers. Very good stat, and that's why he's such an important player for Somerset. Just takes wickets and adds that in the field as well.
Yeah, we've got to give a bit of credit to CricViz, but it's not myself and Charlie coming out with these plethora of stats we've got available for you. I guess we better mention the team behind the stream in terms of Ben and Dan, who are next door, who've worked tirelessly to make this possible tonight. Hopefully we're doing justice to how it's going, but Somerset are certainly doing that. It's at 58 for 4 Glamorgan after 9.5 overs all over Glamorgan here. Does that look like a bit of a floating off spinner from Max Waller just out the front of the hand? Interesting to see this bat actually, Cal Taylor, because Matt Maynard tweeted the other day 100 he got in the Bob Willis Trophy is one of the best hundreds he's ever seen. So obviously he can play a little bit. It was on the staff for Essex before he came to Glamorgan, and I'm actually looking forward to watching him field a bit later as well. He's one of the best fielders on the county circuit, absolutely electric, and he's underway tonight. He's 2 not out. Chris Cook is 25 not out off 19 deliveries, and you like to say that he's going to be the linchpin of this Glamorgan innings. He's off strike again. George Bartlett does the fielding in front of the Somerset stand away to our left. Charlie and myself were situated in the Marcus Trescothick Pavilion today. We've got a great view of the game right behind Max Waller, so certainly got some good information on what's happening with the wicket. That's a full toss down the leg side from Waller. It's neatly tidied up by Steve Davis. He's one of the best glovemen around. It'd be interesting to see what Somerset do when Tom Banton comes back, but he could find himself surplus to requirements in T20 cricket.
It's a good problem to have for Somerset, isn't it? This embarrassment of riches, really. Certainly as far as bowling goes, they're very strong, and then you add in these batsmen, international quality like Banton, who's been proving himself, and Baba. Here we go. Let's have another look at that wicket. The catch here, this one, didn't quite get hold of it fully. I think the pace was a little bit slower perhaps than he was expecting, and it's a good catch by Waller.
Yeah, one of the things, talking about that embarrassment of riches, obviously with the news that Don Bess and Jamie Overton are going to pastures anew. If you look at actually Somerset's T20 side with Rulef van der Merwe, generally will play ahead of Dom anyway, and then somebody like Josh Davey coming in to replace Jamie Overton tonight. Josh obviously has been very successful in Championship cricket for Somerset. Actually, there is still some strength in depth as well as some young players coming through, so all not to panic, certainly.
Van der Merwe this time from the other end, from the river end, carrying on into the 11th over. So we are just over now, halfway through, 62 for 4. I mean, that's far below where Glamorgan would have wanted to have been. Somerset certainly the happier of the two sides. Just 62 runs on the board and 4 wickets down.
Yeah, Van der Merwe getting hit again where he wants to be hit. There hasn't been an awful lot of width on offer. There's a modicum of width there from Van der Merwe, and he was flayed out onto the offside by Cook, who hasn't really got going tonight. You like to think something's going to have to give soon if Glamorgan want to get up to around that 150 mark, which you'd think would be a bare minimum here. Van der Merwe in again. It is tight and sharp to off stump. He lifts his hands to his head, somewhat perturbed by the choice of option that Chris Cook has taken there. And we talk about Rulef van der Merwe. Last season, 10 wickets in the middle overs and 5 at the death, the most by a Somerset player.
Really
highlighting his value to the side.
Yeah, spin, as has come to be the case really, is so important in T20 cricket. We were just talking about Max Waller and now Van der Merwe. Actually, they're hugely important players. Just taking the pace off the ball, let alone whether it spins or not, just taking the pace off just makes the batsman have to try that a little bit harder, perhaps forces them into errors.
Stumpy the Dragon, as mentioned, he's been furloughed because the club said that both of us have provided quite enough of hot air for tonight, but enjoying the live stream there, so enjoying that one, Stumpy. Samantha Silk en route to work for a 12.5-hour shift at the hospital, but listening as much to the game as I can whilst driving. All safe and legally, of course. Great start by Somerset County Cricket Club. Nicola Coles desperately not trying to miss anything with a great stream in style. That's Van der Merwe. Wraps like Taylor on the pad. Looks like maybe a bit of bat involved and going down. We'll have another look at that, but looked very close. Rulef looked like he was very interested in that the slow motion replay. Van der Merwe just coming in here. He's attacked the stumps so well, just like ball. No, that wasn't the LBW, that was just being clipped onto the onside, but just having a bit of a look at Roelof van der Merwe there. Max Waller is back into the attack here. Following from this end, the Marcus Gothic Pavilion end this time. He's switched ends, again trying to bring the shorter boundary into play. And I think that's quite smart captaincy from Tom Abel. He's looking to use the spinners as much as he can this end, getting hit to that longer boundary which is in front of the Andrew Caddick Pavilion. Tom, as mentioned, shout out to his granny Monica and his dad Tim, who are watching tonight from Bridport, Dorset. Welcome, thanks for that, Tom. Also Harvey Williams, as Waller is in again. And looked like it could have been a little nick, just fumbled by Davis, but no run.
Let's take a look at that again.
I don't think there was any bat on that, to be honest, Charlie, as we have a look at Ollie Sale's flowing locks.
Area, it's fielded. Just the single added again. Glamorgan just struggling to find those boundaries. It's fantastic for Somerset.
Alan's cooking whilst watching in Salford. Come on, these Sabres, he said. I'm not sure of the Sabres anymore, but I know where you're coming from, Alan. Mark Cricket Club got the cricket on the big screen there, which is great to see, as that's biffed out into the leg side. And Craig Overton can't get that. It's a much needed boundary for Glamorgan. Chris Cook whacking it into the leg side. Very agricultural. I guess we're in the right part of the world for that, but 33 to Cook. It's 72 for 4 for Glamorgan. They're looking to put their foot down now. Of course, that is much needed. Max Waller is trying to do everything he can to stop the flow of runs. That's driven down the ground. Roelof van der Merwe, you'd put your house, your garden shed, and probably your parents' property on him stopping that. He has got the safest hands in the game, and if he doesn't hit his hands, he'll get everything he possesses in his bodily functions behind it. Absolute bulldog of a cricketer, as this time Waller googly, and Roelof didn't take off that time, and that ball's been knocked away on the offside for 4. And Wallace fervently communicating his disappointment with van der Merwe there.
Yeah, that was a bit sloppy from van der Merwe on the boundary. And you could hear, actually, because this is something we wouldn't have heard if there was a crowd in, but you could hear Max Wallace screaming at Roelof, trying to wake him up to that ball there. Something which, you're able to hear actually what's going on out there because the lack of noise. It's a shame not to have the crowd here, but it just gives it that extra bit of info as to what's going on out in the middle.
Yeah, they call van der Merwe the bulldog or the bull terrier, and that was almost a bit of a cocker spaniel bark, wasn't it, from Max Waller there.
Let's have another look at that one. In comes Waller. Yeah, just tried to make himself a bit of room there, didn't he? Didn't quite get hold of it. So it's going to be...
Looks like Ben Green back into the attack.
Green from the river end. And Cook, this one just pushing it out onto the leg side. 78 for 4, just the single added.
They call the Somerset Director of Cricket, Andy Hurry, his nickname is Sarge. I wonder what he makes of Ben Green's moustache. Like in my mind, I'm not sure he's seen it, like the old Alex Ferguson with David Beckham haircut, the haircut under the beanie, that make him shave it off at half time.
I can't imagine it would have gone down well in the Marines, which is where Andy Hurry used to be part of. This attempted scoop, he's got not that right at all, and actually the fielding from Bartlett wasn't great either. Let it go through himself, really, although no extra runs added, just the single there.
You mentioned the Somerset fielding at the start, the athletic, dynamic fielding. That certainly was, that was more kind of streaming style fielding from the sofa from Bartlett. He wasn't really engaged in the game whatsoever there. Paul Tweddle, the Somerset assistant coach, he works hard on the fielding. He will be fairly antsy about that, I'm sure.
This one just pushed out into the leg side. That's 2 bits of sloppy fielding. Oh, nearly a third bit there as well. It's cleaned up nicely by Waller, who didn't quite pick it up cleanly, but Somerset won't be pleased. Just a couple of bits there. We're going to have a look at the LBW appeal from Roelof van der Merwe's over. You might remember there was a big shout, turned down in the end. Yeah, it looks a bit leg side to me. I think that's what the
going down the leg side, a bit too full, I reckon that.
Umpire would have thought.
It's always good to get in the umpire's ear, though. Let him know that you're hunting for wickets. Little super shuffle there from Cal Taylor to Ben Green. He's obviously trying to put the bowl off his line and length. No such luck though, as Green speared in. I say speared, kind of floated in a bit of a Yorker, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a good ball in T20 cricket. I think it's hard to score off, which I think Chris And Campbell Taylor would have noticed at that point. It's 81 for 4. We're coming to the end of the 13th over. Glamorgan will be desperate to get the foot on the pedal here. This one slashed out, sort of pushed out. A low cut shot from Taylor.
Paul has tweeted, watching Joanna Conter on the big screen and Somerset CC on the iPad. I know that Johan Myberg's wife used to work with Johan Conter, actually.
Oh, right.
Reminder, I need to give a call back. Sorry, Mybes, if you're listening. I need to speak to you this week. Richard, enjoying the match in Ankara. Live stream is a godsend. Thank you from Richard. Great first 10 overs, says Paul. Keep it up, Somerset.
Green in, and there's a tempted scoop shot. Could be a catch here, and he's gone. Hildreth takes the catch. Instantly, as soon as the batsman started to shape towards a scoop shot, Hildreth knew what was happening. He moved into position, and in the end, the scoop went all wrong. And Hildreth was there, barely had to move because of that forethought. Really good from James Hildreth as well as from Ben Green, the bowler as well. It's now 82 for 5.
Yeah, great spot, Charlie. James Hildreth, he saw the shape of the shot that he was looking to play there, Taylor. And actually straight away he moved just towards Steve Davis where the wicketkeeper is, anticipating the fact that something might happen. All those years of experience paying off for the game and creating that opportunity in what was an easy catch in the end, but just that sharpness of thought enabling him to be in a position where he can actually impact the game. Any young cricketers who managed to pick that up on the stream, I said any young cricketers are watching, there obviously there's a few actually in the ground tonight from the Somerset pathway. They're actually acting as ball boys, throwing the balls back, so great to have them on board. Great initiative for the club. Ben Green's just coming down in front of us now. He'll be absolutely delighted with that wicket. Takes Glamorgan 82 for 5. What a start from Somerset here. Wickets win matches, that is for sure. And also, looking at the Somerset webpage, also that wins prizes, doesn't it, today, Charlie? We need to mention that about the Thatchers, the pizza and the TV. So have a look at the Trade Nation competition. I think you've got to live within 40 miles of Somerset for that to be delivery. So if you're listening from the streets of Karachi, I'm afraid we might not be able to get that to you.
Quite a long drive.
A token can of Thatchers. I did see something that a couple of months ago we had a Somerset shirt that made its way to the Himalayas or somewhere crazy, didn't it? I don't know if you picked up on that story, Charlie, but that was absolutely crazy. The fact somebody won a competition and we managed to basically, there's a run-out chance there. Craig Overton coming in from the leg side. It resulted in just one run, but yeah, there's a competition winner for a Somerset shirt and managed to, almost with hardly any scant details, made it to the recipient just miles and miles and miles away with very little information.
Yeah, great story, and fantastic to be able to see the fans around the world getting involved as well. So just push forwards. There was a run-out chance in the last ball. 84 now for 5. Loads of action here. Very pleased to bring it to you. Ben Green getting involved in 4 out of the 5 wickets so far. He's having a good game. Van der Merwe again, and just pushed into the leg side.
Maria is watching in Norway. Ginger Cat Appreciation Day. Brian is a beautiful girl. Watching in the lounge in Norway. Do we know if Somerset operate a fine system? If so, Abel should be fined for wearing inappropriate clothing. He's only wearing white sleeves before anyone thinks there's anything too vulgar going on here. I know there's no crowd here, but certainly no such excuse. As Van der Merwe again spears at the toes of Cook, hits straight back to him, brilliantly fielded by Van der Merwe for his own bowling. Lewis Baker doesn't love anything more than T20 cricket, which is great. Ian Groves loving the stream and the commentary. Abby Slade saying you're a key worker, Stumpy. Shocking decision, just talking about the furloughing of Stumpy. It's a single on the offside from Cook. It's well fielded again by Tom Abel.
Thank you, Julia, who's been in touch, watching from the tropical Blackdown Hills. She says, I can't imagine it's all that tropical at the moment. Totally stumped to discover that Brian the Cat may be pregnant. Loving the stream. Well done to everyone involved. Yeah, it's a big team effort. Thank you, Julia, for your comments. Van der Merwe's in again, and this one just pushed out, no run. We mentioned about James Hildreth, that wicket, the scoop shot. Just watch him here on the replay. Look at him run already before the ball's been hit, and he gets into that position almost like he knew where it was going first, but that's just that foresight. Someone like Hildreth, with all that experience, saw the scoop shot coming and just instantly got himself into position. Great bit of cricket to watch. The floodlights now just beginning, I'd say, to take effect, really. Just beginning to see that. The sun dipping down below the horizon now, and the floodlights which I think have only been switched on once so far this year for a bit of training that happened. I certainly saw it while I was cycling through Taunton the other night. But it's a beautiful evening, actually. Going to get a nice sunset, I think. And Somerset performing really well here. 86 for 5. And watching the live stream from Somerset County Cricket Club with Trade Nation. And it'll be Ben Green who continues from the river end. And this one is a big attempted drive. And hasn't quite got all of it. Timing wasn't great. They think about a second and turn it down in the end. And it's just the single. So 87 for 5 now.
Yeah, great fielding by Josh Davey there on the boundary. Absolutely superb from him. Attacked the ball. But what a game Ben Green is having. You wouldn't have him down as the first name on the team sheet at the moment for Somerset. But 2 for 12 plus 2 catches. He's absolutely, they can't keep him out of the game at the moment. We've taken the mickey a little bit out of his moustache, but certainly no question about his cricketing prowess tonight, as he is in again. One of the things I was going to chat to you, Charlie, about as Ben Green bowls this one again. It's brilliantly fielded by Tom Abel at extra cover, diving away to his right. Cook hangs his head. It's not Cook, I beg your pardon, it's Graham Wagg. Hangs his head. Such a fantastic shot and stop from Tom Abel. But yeah, I was going to chat about the car parking situation tonight, Charlie, as you see the replay again. Tom Abel might just be out of shot there. There he is, diving away to his right-hand side. He's one of the best in the business, certainly a lovely young man as well. You'd love your daughter to marry him, I would suggest, as this one squirted out on the offside. Ollie Sale just rolls away, does a good bit of fielding, but there is still 2 more runs to Chris Cook. But yeah,
did Tom ask you to say that? Is he trying to set him up?
I don't want to speak out of school, but I believe he may be on the market. So if if you're a 20 to 45-year-old woman in Taunton, I'm not quite sure what Tom goes for, then I'm sure he's on all sorts of social media. You can find him. I don't know how we've gone to Lonely Hearts ads and Tom Abel from Ben Green's superb bowling, but Tom Abel is back in the game and he's out. He whoops with delight. What a big wicket. We've mentioned that man, Ben Green, but what a wicket. Cook is out for 42. I would suggest that is the nail in the coffin, Charlie, for Glamorgan. A huge wicket for Somerset, 90 for 6. Ben Green with his 3rd wicket. He's got 2 catches. He's got a great tash. What more can he do?
You said nail in the coffin there. I mean, this 90 for 6. We haven't even got to the end of the 15th over. Glamorgan here have got to pull something amazing out of the hat if they're going to come away from Taunton with a win. Somerset have been brilliant with the ball and in the field there. Tom Abel, we were talking him up there, and he's just pulled off another catch for Somerset. 90 for 6 with 2 balls left in the 15th over. Somerset will be absolutely delighted with how this T20 game's going. Ben Green, his 3rd wicket, add on to that 2 catches as well. He just can't stay out of the game.
I can only imagine the roar, what would have happened there with a full Taunton with that wicket, but we certainly enjoyed it, and I hope you did at home as well. Somerset have been absolutely superb tonight, getting the ball in difficult areas for Glamorgan and forcing their mistakes, and crucially they've taken all the catches as well. But super stuff. Somerset 14.4 overs and really driving this advantage home, and this type of innings with the ball and with the field will give somebody like Ben Green, who hasn't played a lot of cricket for Somerset, a huge amount of confidence, I'm sure.
90 for 6. Glamorgan needs something from somewhere. Salter and Wagg at the crease. Green, that's a big shot. It's gone up. Has it gone far enough?
Davey.
It's a fielder underneath it. It's Davey. Takes the catch. 2 in 2 for Ben Green. He's on a hat-trick with 1 ball left in the 15th over. Glamorgan staring down the barrel here. 90 for 7, and Salter's gone first ball.
Yeah, well, that's absolute scenes there from Ben Green. 4 wickets to him. What a day out. He is having 4 for 16 from Ben Green. He is absolutely smashing this. I was a little bit concerned. Josh Davey was getting quite close to the rope there as he kind of that ball just circled underneath him. But yeah, pretty safe under those, Josh. And yeah, the approach from Salter, you could say, was a bit aggressive, but 90 for 7. Glamorgan are in all sorts of trouble here, but Somerset, there's no sympathy whatsoever as far as they're concerned. And Ben Green is on a hat-trick. I don't think he's quite going to have 3 slips in a gully and a short leg here, Charlie, but yeah, nonetheless, the way Glamorgan have played, he may have a chance of a catch in the ring somewhere.
The funny thing in T20 cricket, actually, the more attacking field might be sort of in the boundary or in the ring rather than in the slip fielding positions. 90 for 7. There's 1 ball left in this Ben Green over, and it is a hat-trick ball. Green coming to the end of his 3rd over, so he's still got 1 to go after this. Having a great game. 4 for 16. The new man is Marchant de Lange. they did swap over. It's Wag on strike, and this one just tapped out into the leg side. So no hat-trick for Ben Green, but he can be very pleased with what happened in that over. 91 for 7 is the score. 15 overs gone.
Yeah, just read a few more of tweets. Jamie Locke, this is absolutely incredible cricket. Keep it up, lads. Got a tweet for Glammy. Can we start again, please? Come on, Glammy. From Howell. I'm sorry if I haven't said that correctly. I did a bit of GCSE French and no Welsh, unfortunately. I don't like cricket. I love it. It's absolutely loving here as well. Vital wicket cook. Well done, Ben Green. Borat Ben Green having a great game with the ball and in the field, says Andy Cleve. And Ben Green's moustache should have its own Twitter account, says Phil Kingdom, which I love the sound of that, Phil, but I'm certainly haven't got the time to set that one up. As Waller is in again, he's knocked out on the onside by Wag for a single. Dave Downing and Jamie Locke absolutely loving the live stream. I take it back, it's a killer tash.
All loving the tash now.
Absolutely. Just keep sending us your streaming style tweets. Keep showing us where you're watching from the cricket from. Charlie and myself are absolutely loving all of those. I'll try and retweet a few of those. If Ben, if you're listening next door, if you can retweet a few of those, that'd be brilliant as well. Can't keep up with all the social media engagement. Just only got one thumb.
Have you? Comes Waller.
That's not
pushed
true.
Out onto the leg side.
That's not a story I'm about to go into. Actually, that's not a genetical defect. I do have two thumbs. DeLange on strike. Actually, he scored 100, didn't he, the other day? Quite famously. I think the fastest 100 ever in first-class cricket.
First-class cricket for
Glamorgan, as he gets off the mark by just whipping a full delivery to Ollie Sale at deep square leg.
Well, this is the thing. They were staring down the barrel in that game, Glamorgan, as well. I can't remember. It might have been Northants, I think they were playing. And it was DeLange and Douthwaite, I think, who just took to the bowling and scored 150, 200 run partnership, something like that. It was amazing. This one just pushed out into the leg side. It'll be a single to the score. So still not quite getting into the three figures yet. 94 for 7. We're nearly at the end of the 16th over.
Yeah, Trade Nation getting off quite lightly so far with the sixes. I think we certainly hope Somerset managed to change that. Just a reminder, £50 for every six tonight, £25 for every 4, plus a donation of £1,000, and also 250 if any of the Trade Nation targets are hit. But that's a big success. Could be £50 to Somerset Disability Cricket. It is. It's a great shot that from DeLange. Just superb shot. We're going to see a replay of that. It's £50 to Somerset Disability Cricket. That's absolutely fantastic for that great cause, as we see DeLange just showing that you can hit through the ball on this wicket, Charlie. There's no demons in this surface. There's just been some superb bowling and some good catching.
Yep. Waller in again and trying to clear the front leg there was Marchant DeLange. Couldn't quite get hold of it. It's just the single in the end. I totally agree with what you've said there. We haven't seen the ball actually do anything that much. It's not seems to be moving off the pitch all that much. We're going to watch the recent wicket here, the 7th one to fall. This was the second in a row, 2 in 2 balls for Ben Green. Yeah, it's a great effort from him so far. But actually, I don't think Somerset will be watching that pitch thinking, oh, this is a 120, 130 wicket. I don't think so. We'll have to wait
never judge a wicket, I guess they say, until both sides have batted on it. But certainly Somerset will be extremely happy with the position they're in. If they can keep Glamorgan below 120, 125, these are two dangerous players. Graham Wagg has been very effective for Glamorgan on numerous occasions, coming in and whirling the bat, whirling the ball, whirling the bat, twirling the ball and the bat even, as this time it's Green, and again he's past the outside edge of DeLange. On another note, Charlie, actually, I'm getting a bit of stick for my trousers on the commentary.
Yeah, I see that.
Which
Chino watch.
On Chino watch, I'm saying they're a bit too tight. I know lockdown actually put a lot of effort into my running. To be honest, the service station living, the life of a cricket coach, the last couple of weeks has, it's been a bit busy. There's been a few more, vanilla lattes and ham and cheese toasties on the road. But I'm a little offended that I'm getting a bit of stick for those. As Green is in again, searching his 5th wicket, and it's a full toss. Poor ball this time from Green. We've been very complimentary of him and his moustache tonight, but that's certainly not one of his best, and it's worked away on the onside, just past Roelof van der Merwe at square leg for a boundary. But it is a short boundary there.
Yeah, I see your hashtag Chino watch has been on some of the tweets. Steve is standing up whilst commentating.
Yeah, get very excited standing up, Charlie. You're far more chilled than me, just kind of sat down, and I guess that's why you're an award-winning broadcaster.
Big swing there from De Lange. He's not hanging around. He's not going to die wondering.
Yeah, we've got the excitement and immaturity of Snell and the coolness of Charlie Taylor. We can have another look at this wicket again. Have a look at that moustache from Ben Green as well as he approaches the wicket. Look at that.
What, there's a moustache in slow-mo?
Absolute 70s style. Graham Souness would be delighted with that.
Green in. That's on his attempted Yorker length, just a bit too full, but De Lange are unable to make the most of that, and it's just a single from it. Score 106 for 7.
Just a quick reminder, Charlie, we've got the competition, haven't we, at halfway, so make sure you're in it to win it. We'll be calling one of the winners at half-time, so if you haven't got your competition entry to win the pizza or the TV or the Thatchers, make sure you get online and enter as soon as you can. Have we asked a really tough question? As that's another dot from Ben Green. Is there a tough question of entry of how many awards has Charlie Taylor won? Well, is there anything that people need to do?
Yeah, I think you just need to answer your phone. If you've got in touch on that, head on to the Somerset Facebook and Twitter pages. You'll see the details. You've got to live within 40 miles of Taunton. But as long as you're on there and you've followed the T's and C's, you could be winning the TV, the pizza, the Thatchers. That one is a nice shot. Finding the gap there is Wag picking up a 4. Another 25 quid for the Somerset Disability squads. But yes, do get involved now because we'll be doing that at the interval, which isn't all that far away now. Just 3 overs or 3 wickets to go.
Ben Green's work for the night there is finished. 4 for 26 as we get beautiful shots of the Quantocks just over there. The Ian Botham stand end there. Look at that. What a place to live. What a time to be alive in Somerset, Charlie.
Oh, it's beautiful. It is a lovely evening tonight, and it's a shame not to have the crowd here. But the sun's setting, you've got the floodlights on. It is that feel of T20 cricket, just without the finishing touch, without the crowd and that atmosphere around you. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream. It's the next best thing, we hope, to actually being here.
What a time to be Ben Green as well. 4 for 26 from his 4 overs. What a performance from Green, plus 2 catches as well. Very much like school cricket. He's going to come and open the batting as well and finish the game 60 not out. His bat, his ball. Good work tonight so far from Ben Green. I can just see Craig Overton in front of us here at Long On directing traffic. What Somerset are really good at is making sure that the right people are in the right positions. Roelof van der Merwe is at deep mid-wicket, so he's left-hander. That's why he's just swapped with Craig Overton. So they're both attacking the ball at the right angles as the ball is squirted off the inside edge to Josh Davey at deep square leg. Fields the ball nicely and efficiently.
Two experienced guys there, Roelof van der Merwe and Craig Overton, who is England player, using all that experience, making sure they're working that boundary, keeping those boundaries to a minimum. Despite the fact that money goes to charity, of course, Somerset will only be thinking about keeping it to as few as possible while Glamorgan are batting.
Yeah, Craig Overton, just the interaction you can have with the players here is actually quite phenomenal. Just telling me the pitch is quite slow tonight. No means a bad pitch, but a little bit of pace off, I think, is the shout. Somerset, as Ollie Sale spears in a Yorker. Thor's hammer from Ollie Sale there. Absolutely superb from him. He's one of the things that Ollie has had the opportunity to do over the course of the last couple of years due to injuries and limited involvement in the 4-day side. He's actually had a huge training block with T20 cricket, so he's actually been practicing his skills a hell of a lot behind the scenes. So actually bowling Yorkers and slower balls, he's probably the most practiced man at the club in doing it.
It's interesting to know. Here's again a shorter ball. Oh, that's a lovely ball. Horrible for Marchand De Lange. Had to duck out of the way, still tried to pull it as he went. But as you say, Ollie Sale looking good. There is Ben Green's final stats for you off his 4 overs. 4 for 26. Well played, Ben Green. Got 2 in 2 as well in those 4 wickets. So really nicely done by Ben Green, a rising star inside this Somerset squad.
I mentioned to Jason Kerr on commentary, just taking the mickey really about my kind of constant interaction with him, trying to get the academy players in the side. As Abel brilliantly fields at extra cover off a low full toss from Ollie Sale. He really is dynamic and athletic in there, the club captain, leading from example as he does with everything on and off the pitch. What a fine young man he is, what a human, Tom Abel, and showing every bit of that great character there in terms of his effort, intensity and skill delivery. Ollie Sale in again. Headband and locks flowing in this nighttime air here in Taunton. The ball is knocked out to Craig Overton off the back foot, but it's only a single. Wag moves on to 12. Glamorgan 114 for 7 here. But yeah, I was mentioning to Jason about the academy players. Quite a lot of these guys here would have come from the Somerset Academy. We'll see what happens in 3 days' time with Banton, Babar and Gregory returning. But there's some exciting young players on show this evening.
Sale is in. That's another full one, really nicely dug in there from Sale. You can see he's been practicing that. It's working well from at the death. 18 overs gone, 114 for 7. And it was interesting you saying that you had a chat with Craig Overton. We're in what is the makeshift commentary box. Craig Overton on the pitch, but actually because there's no crowd, because we are quite close here in the hospitality, Craig was able just to sort of talk to you through the open window there.
Yeah, just intimating that the wicket's a little bit slow, which is it's great to have that interaction. For any young player listening, or even any old player, if you're in Kathmandu, a Sherpa potentially who wants a career in cricket, Ollie Sale, delivering his skills there is no accident. He's worked so hard in terms of not only his effort in practice, but actually the thought process that's gone into what he needs to practice. So it's brilliant to see him delivering those skills so effectively tonight so far. But another change in the bowling. Josh Davey is back on. He's got 2 overs left to bowl. 1 for 9, Josh, of 2 overs so far. So he's been effective, as have all the Somerset bowlers.
Again, another full delivery. That's really targeting that Somerset, and it's working to good effect there. Just the single. George Bartlett comes in behind square on the leg side and fields it.
Yeah, gave George a bit of stick earlier, but that was a good piece of fielding to his right hand side, stopping a certain boundary. That's very short there. I think 57 yards, the groundsman said to me, that boundary from where we're watching tonight, from right to left. If you're watching on the stream, it's to the leg side as De Lange is looking. It's a 57-yard boundary, maybe 65 to the other side. It does look a bit longer as Davies in again and worked away on the leg side. That could be a boundary. Waller's underneath after that, and the ball splits the 2 men. That's Max Waller and Craig Overton at long on. Craig Overton's going from long on to long on, showing the athleticism and strength and conditioning capacity of the modern cricketer, but him and Waller couldn't do anything about that one.
Yeah, that I think Waller did just get a touch on. It certainly seemed to change direction once it went past him, so I don't know whether it was off Waller or Overton. I think Waller looked cross with himself there. I think he thinks he got a touch on it. Takes his fielding very seriously. Davey from the river end. Again, another full ball. This one's straight back to that area, and the throw comes in. Again, nicely fielded. Just noticing again this sunset just happening over to our left as we look at it. The electronic advertising just beginning to show quite bright now. So this evening drawing in. It's a little bit chilly as well. The cool air coming in from our open window here. So we're in September now, so it's cooler nights for the T20s for this season. It'll be Davey continuing. Another full length. Attempted scoop. It could be a catch. It will be. George Bartlett takes it. Another failed scoop shot. This is Wag who's gone now. It's 120 for 8. And again, good fielding behind the batsman. It's Bartlett this time who got into a good position, taking that catch. We can show you that on the replay now as Davey comes in. Another bad scoop shot from Glamorgan. It hasn't worked. It's a good catch from Bartlett in the end. Pretty regulation, but he took it nicely. 120 for 8.
Yeah, slightly muted celebrations, but nothing to do with the level of commitment out there. It's all about social distancing, Charlie, isn't it? The lads have worked very hard in curbing their enthusiasm with the elbow pointing, foot high fives, socially distanced high fives, air fives, whatever you want to call it. I'm not quite sure what I'd go for as a player, to be honest. I think the thumbs up is generally kind of fairly standard.
Well, especially if you're at long on, you don't want to run all the way in and then all the way back out. Just a thumb up.
It gives those guys who, the kind of the excuse not to run in. The guys who never quite wanted to engage with everybody else. Actually, they don't have to anymore. They can use that as a bit of an excuse. I'm sure people have been doing that club cricket on a Saturday. Giving that kind of the fake clap and walk back to your position. But another good wicket for Somerset, 120 for 8, and Wag, who's out, dangerous customer. So good to see the back of him. Now, just a reminder, we've got our competition at the break, but please don't tweet your mobile number to us. We've had a couple of people tweeting mobile numbers directly as Davies in again. He's hit down the ground from De Lange. It's looking like it's just going to be a single as Craig Overton. Yes, we please send it in via the form online. Do not send your mobile number out into the digital space. You do not know who will be ringing you. It won't be us.
There's a proper form that you need to fill in on the if you follow on the Facebook or Twitter sites for Somerset County Cricket Club, you'll find it there. everything you need to know. Thank you to Andrew, who says, great game, great coverage from a Devonian living in Oxford, super bowling from fellow Devonian Ben Green. Yeah, he's had a good night. Not the only one as well, as here comes Josh Davey. That's another full ball. This one a bit too full. Oh, he's dropped it. Waller has dropped one. That doesn't happen very often. And that was pretty, for Waller, you'd say that was pretty regulation there. We will take a look at this one. Waller will be absolutely fuming. He's got his hands on his knees there.
We're going to look at the
Davey
replay.
Came in. It was a full, but it was too full, really. Although, oh dear, that's one which Max Waller normally swallows up.
He's missed a bit of cricket recently with his broken thumb, Max, but not giving him an excuse. He said to me in the past, if it's in the air, it's out. So certainly Max, I've actually got a signed photo in my office of Max with him scribbling, if it's in the air, it's out on it. Unfortunately, Max, I'm going to be reminding you of that one a little bit later.
And we've got the full slow-mo replay for you.
Extremely disappointing, but there we go. Richard Thorne has tweeted, absolutely loving the live stream. Brilliant to be able to watch tonight from Zante. Well, I'm glad that somebody has got away. Richard. Robert has mentioned looking good for Somerset to hopefully restrict Glam to less than 130. Jamie Locke says less than 150. I think that could be a bit too much, as Ollie Sale is in again, and he gets the foot five out of the ball. He's going to have a sore ankle there, Ollie Sale. That's driven hard back at him by Tim van der Gooten. He hit that very hard indeed. Lovely gif from Phoebe Slee on Ben Green on the Somerset Twitter page of the Borat moustache. Great to watch.
Thank you to Amanda, who sent us a picture. He says, this chap is viewing through the conservatory roof. Sent me a picture of a seagull looking right in through their conservatory roof. It's a full ball from Sale again, dug out there by Marchant de Lange. And there's a single.
Brilliant Yorker again from Ollie Sale. He has barely missed tonight. He's been absolutely superb. Figures potentially don't do him justice. He's bowled a couple of tough overs. I beg your pardon here. Go through some of the bowling figures a bit later. But Van der Merwe 3 overs for 13. Green 4 for 26 off 4. Davey 2 for 17 off 3. And Sale 1 for 25 off 3.3 so far. As Craig Overton is going to do the fielding in front of us. He's going to try hard to stop 2. And I think he has not quite managed to do that. And de Lange is a big lad, isn't he? Got big strapping thighs, and he's back for a second run quite comfortably.
Great throw from Craig Overton there, who shouted, leave it to Ollie Sale, who was going to try and gather it in front of the stump. So Craig obviously thought it was on target, in the end bouncing over the top of them. But great effort, Craig Overton, fantastic in the field. 126 for 8, there are 3 balls left. And stay with us on the live stream throughout the break, because we'll be finding out who's the lucky winner of the TV, the pizza, the Thatchers as well. In comes Sale. This one driven straight back towards him. It's a great stop from Max Waller, making up for the drop catch there. He's kept them just to 1. Could have been more. 127 for 8. We're going to take another look at this one. Fantastic bit of work in the field from Max Waller. 2 balls to go. Here we go. As Ollie Sale comes in, driven forwards. Yeah, nicely gathered and thrown back in. 2 balls to go then. It's Ollie Sale continuing. And this last over, it's too full. And this one will make its way out towards the boundary. Craig Overton's there. The throw comes in. They're going back for a second again. And had that been a direct hit, that would have been out. As it is, Sale took it behind the stumps and in the end didn't quite take it cleanly. So no run out there. So 2 runs added to the total. 129 for 8 with the last ball to come.
I've said it a few times tonight, but unbelievable fielding from Craig Overton there. Just the level of athleticism there at the last over of the game. To be able to release that ball from the boundary. The ball skipping hard to him as well off the practice services. And it was very nearly a direct hit from the boundary. But yeah, again, smart bowling from Ollie Sale. Bowling to his field. Ball right in the area he'd like it to be.
Last ball, Sale in. It's attempted Yorker. It's too full. It's going to go over the head of Waller, and that will be a boundary to finish off. So it's another 25 quid for the Somerset Disability Cricket Club, the VI as well, the visually impaired group, and the Super Ones. And that concludes the first innings. 133 for 8. It's a fantastic effort from Somerset, who've kept Glamorgan to what is a pretty low score at Taunton. Of course, this is the first T20 game of the season, so we'll wait to see how the pitch plays as Somerset come out trying to chase down 134 from their 20 overs. But the score here after 20 overs, 133 for 8. Steve, how do you rate how Somerset did there?
Yeah, I think Somerset will be pretty happy here, to be fair. In terms of that halfway, I think 150 with that short boundary, I think would have been a, I guess, probably still below par score with that short boundary, but 133 for 8 with a short boundary. I'd like to think Somerset are very confident of knocking this off. There will be a few budgies circling, having not been able to chase against Northampton the other day, so there will be some element of doubt, I'm sure, in the Somerset camp, but they should be very confident about chasing that. News from the statisticians, I beg your pardon. I think it's £400 for charity so far from the Glamorgan innings, which is absolutely fantastic, from the Somerset Disability Charity. We mentioned before we started how that's going to support with the Super Ones, Somerset Disability and the visually impaired side. Absolutely brilliant cause with our new streaming partners, Trade Nation, who are proactively engaging with our local charities as well as sponsoring this broadcast, which hopefully you are enjoying, from myself and Charlie Taylor. Well, if not, I'm having fun. Managed to stand up for that whole innings, Charlie, so I might have a few kind of DOMs tomorrow. But it's competition time soon, isn't it? We're going to be getting into the nuts and bolts of giving away pizzas, TVs, Thatchers, whatsoever. So is there any way that we can engineer this so I can win, by the way?
It's really exciting, isn't it? We're giving away this fantastic prize of the TV, as you say, the cider and the pizza as well. You can stream in style. You can watch Somerset for the next few home games. We're doing this again. You can enjoy it with your pizza and your Thatchers as well as we do that. So let's find out if our first caller. So if you've entered this competition, you need to be by your phone now. Okay, so this is hopefully our first caller. If we don't get through on this one, we will try. Number 2, we've got a list of 3.
There's got to be a broadcasting first, this, Charlie, hasn't it, from Cricket Streaming in partnership with Trade Nation.
Hello, is that Jordan? Jordan, you've just won the TV, the Thatchers and the pizza from Trade Nation. Shut up, did I? Yes, you've won it, mate. You've got hold of that. Just give us an idea. Whereabouts are you?
I live
just outside Taunton. So that is going to make its way to you, mate. Are you watching the game tonight?
I'm actually watching England at the minute.
Okay, well I'll tell you what's going on in the Somerset
Jordan,
game.
you haven't won anymore. We're taking it back.
It's 133 for 8 here, so that's Glamorgan batting first. So Somerset doing pretty well. Good stuff. So Jordan, I tell you what, I'm going to hand you over to James. He's from Trade Nation. He's going to take you through how you've done that. He's going to take some details from you. So great. So Jordan there, who's keeping an eye on the England game. But fantastic. He's won the massive TV, the pizza, the Thatchers.
Well, what I love about that, there was so much that could have gone wrong there, Charlie, which which it didn't, and I mean that in a really positive sense, almost seamless that we've just given away. I was kind of had visions of Anchorman, Ron Burgundy, and all sorts of negative reactions we were going to have to deal with. But on a positive note, what a great initiative that is from Trade Nation, giving away the pizza and the Thatchers and the TV. So yeah, make sure that if you listen to this and you didn't enter, we're going to do that again on Friday.
We've got 5 TVs, 5 sets of pizza and Thatchers to give away. So if you didn't get in touch with us tonight, or if you didn't win, if that wasn't you we were just speaking to, then you need to go through and do it all again. So if you've already done it, it won't roll over. You need to go and fill out the form again. But for the next home game, we're here back on Friday night for the Birmingham Bears game. It could be you. We could be speaking on the phone to you, and we could be handing over that TV, the Thatchers and the pizza. Such a great prize. And then what we'll need from Jordan, who we've just given the TV for, we just need him to, assuming he does bother to watch the Somerset game next time, I guess it won't be an England game on at the same time, he can send us a picture of him streaming in style, which is what we've been talking about this whole time. So fantastic. I'm really jealous of Jordan.
Absolutely. Yeah, please, Jordan, make sure you send us a picture with your new TV. I'm sure that's arriving fairly soon as well from what James has told us. But as Charlie mentioned, please use the hashtag stream in style. I know some of you are watching the England game as well as watching the stream on the iPads, etc., which just shows how much you love cricket, we love cricket, everyone here loves cricket, and Somerset players are loving life at the moment as well. Glamorgan, 133 they posted, so Somerset require 134 to win.
Sorry, Stephen, to interrupt you. I just thought I'd update you. Pakistan have finished 190 for 4 from their 20, just for people who are watching us but want to know what's going on there. Babar Azam making 21. It was Ali with 54 and Hafiz with 86, making most of the runs there.
No, we're actually going to take you through the scorecard very quickly with Max Waller 1 for 31 off 4, Craig Overton 0 for 10 off 2, just getting 2 overs, but slightly surprising that, but great to see Ollie Sale getting his opportunity with the ball, 1 for 34 off 4, Josh Davey 2 for 17 off 3, Van der Merwe doing an excellent job with 0 for 13 off 3, and Ben Green, the man of the moment, the man with the Graham Souness tash, 4 for 26 off 4. What an absolute day out Ben has had. The key contributions for Glamorgan, we'll go actually through the scorecard. Billy Roots, he was 5 before he was Court Green, bowled Davey. Douthwaite, LBW bowled Waller for 0. Bell Burney, Court Green, bowled Sale for 17. And Cook, Court Abel, bowled Green for 42. Carlson, Court by Waller, bowled Green for 5. Taylor was well caught by James Hildreth, anticipating the play off Ben Green for 12. Graham Wagg caught Bartlett, bowled Davey for 13. Salter caught by Davey, first ball on the boundary for no score. De Lange with a healthy and important contribution of 28 off 18 balls. Van der Gooten not out 5 as well. So as I mentioned there, Somerset acquire 134 to win. You'd have to say they were strong favourites, but it's only halfway.
Well, yeah, absolutely. 133. We saw that stat earlier on about how often 200 is hit here at the county ground. You know, you definitely at Taunton typically, you know, if you're making 170, you think that's about par. Probably 170, 180. You want to be in that area for here. 133 feels very low. So these Glamorgan bowlers, we're watching them warm up now. They've got a big job on. For Somerset batsmen, it can be a bit tricky chasing down a smaller total, which I think you'd have to say 133 is. It can just maybe make you a bit complacent to start with. Banton and Babar not here. They're the international quality of the batting side. So there's still work to do here. It's not game over by any stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the approach to this is really important. I think the way I like to play my cricket, if I'm honest, is fairly reckless, Charlie. So maybe speaking to the wrong person about a common sense approach here, but certainly, you know, encourage the guys to come out and play their shots and try and get the game won. I think sometimes you play too conservatively, you can bring the opposition into a game when you're chasing a small total. I guess what can happen though, you can be 20 for 3-4 like Glamorgan were, and then it becomes a very difficult game. So I'd like maybe to see a little bit of balance between violence and smartness in the Somerset innings.
We could be in for a really tense affair. If Somerset lose those early wickets, then it could be a very, very tense chase. Of course, Somerset hoping that doesn't happen. I'll just run through a few of the other scores today from the Blast, because Somerset will need to keep an eye on these. It's a bit of a complicated one. There are going to be 4 quarter-finals, which means there'll be 4 home teams and 4 away teams in those. Sadly, there are 3 groups, so to work out 4 home quarter-finals from 3 groups is a bit tricky. It means that the top team in each group will have a home quarter-final, and then the best second-place team will also have a home quarter-final, and then the next 4 sides will be the away teams. We'll come to that when we get to the end of the group stage. As it is, Hampshire have beaten Essex today. This is in the South group. They finished with a ball to spare, chasing down 139. Kent have beaten Surrey. Surrey having a really dreadful season this year so far. 161 they posted from their 20 overs. Kent chasing that down with over and a half to spare. We're halfway through the other games. Middlesex made 165 for 5 from their overs at Lords tonight. Sussex chasing that down. They're 1 over in 6 for 1. And then in Somerset's group, Northamptonshire Steelbacks made 152 for 7. They've got 2 balls left in that game. I'll see if I can get an updated score. 158 they made in their game, and it's Birmingham who will have to chase that down in that game. And as we've been saying, Glamorgan 133 for 8 here at Taunton tonight. And the sun has set. Night is falling over the county town here in Somerset, and the floodlights are on. And this is the first time that that we've had a proper chance to see the floodlights. Absolutely great to see them under the floodlights here as some more training goes on.
Yeah, I've got some big news, Charlie. As I said, you've taken the mickey out of you endearingly tonight about being an award-winning journalist and showing your quality there tonight. But on slightly bigger news, Ben Green's moustache has followed me on Twitter, which is great to see. there is someone out there, so,
I love that.
so please get around that, which has made my day. That Ben Green's moustache has got its own Twitter account. Mitz has said, I'm sure we can let Waller off that drop, given he only takes stunners like the de Villiers catch. If anyone remembers the de Villiers catch from last year in the T20 quarter-final, I think, against Middlesex, it was one of the finest catches you'll see. So maybe we'll just let Waller off that one tonight. But yeah, we won't give it too much more. But lots of cool tweets coming. We've got streaming style hashtag, so let us know how you're watching the game. Somebody said, can guys ask you, no spoiler alert, about the England-Pakistan updates? They plan to watch the match from scratch later, so I'm not sure we can commit to that. Apologies for that, but it's great coverage by Somerset tonight, says Philip Newman Hall. I think the competition winner should have been watching. Fair point, Phil. Have you married Tom Abel off yet? But I'm just going to move on very quickly from the tweets. Got plenty of time for that, but we've got a short video coming your way, which we're going to go to now.
Tell me, are you with me now? Ready to put it down. Start at the bottom, already forgot them, but they won't forgive me now. You really ain't ready now. You haters just in the crowd, but till I just look around. Are you with me now? Are you with me now? Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now? Ain't felt this good in a while. They want us to see
Somerset are back. Here we are in Taunton. The batsmen making their way out, chasing down 134 Somerset. That's what they need to win their first game so far in this year's T20 Blast. They are hoping to do that against Glamorgan today, who made 133 for 8 from their 20 overs. Great performance from Somerset in the field, and a fantastic performance with the ball as well, in particular to Ben Green. Thank you very much to everyone getting in touch. And no, we haven't managed to marry Tom Abel off just yet. He'll be surprised when he watches this game back and we finds us trying to do that with his Lonely Hearts column.
Yeah, it's a whole new level of streaming service that Trade Nation are providing. Maybe that kind of dating spin-off will be the next thing for the Somerset. We've got slow motion replays and Lonely Hearts ads here at Somerset, but they're out in the middle. And Eddie Byram is out there, which is very exciting. Oh, Steve Davis, I beg your pardon.
Steve Davis and George Bartlett,
so, yeah. Eddie won't thank me for that. Beg your pardon, Eddie. George Bartlett, it's great to see him opening in T20 cricket. Something a bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, he's. I was speaking to Tom Abel ahead of the season, saying that George was actually probably the most informed batsman during pre-season. And we're going to start off with Sisadia, who's going to come in and bowl. This one just turned onto the leg side, and there's no run to start us off today.
Be fascinated by the approach here from the Somerset batters, Charlie. Just are they going to look to take it on in the first couple of overs? And the Glamorgan batters didn't, did they? They didn't. They let Somerset settle in the power play. I don't think Bartlett's going to go the same way as Sosojers, and he's pulled off the back foot by Bartlett. It's going to be 4, it is straight away. He's onto it. He's at work. He's at it. We're going to have a quick look at that pull shot from George Bartlett again, but that's £25 to Somerset Disability. We're off the mark straight away with a charity. £400 raised already through boundaries alone tonight. That's 425.
Yeah, nice shot, picking the gap nicely there as Steve dismantles his microphone next to me. In comes the bowler again. This time just tapped onto the leg side for a single. Nicely worked from George Bartlett. Takes him off strike.
I don't know if we can get a shot of this, Dan, from inside the commentary box, but the microphone seems to have disappeared, so we've got a bit of a cone. Not quite sure what to do with this, whether you've got any kind of technical expertise going on. Yes, all very bizarre. Not quite sure what's going on with that. So.
Well, while Steve fixes his microphone together, let's take a look what's going out there. And this is this view we got used to last season with the floodlights. Dark around, but the floodlights making it absolutely great. Steve Davis is off the mark into the leg side with a single. I think about 2, but turn it down in the end. Are you all right there now, Steve? You fixed it?
Yeah, it's pretty wobbly, my microphone here, so hopefully, yeah, maybe you can give us a little bit of a hand with this, Charlie.
I think it's a simple job. There we go. Fixing, there you go. That's why award-winning journalists, that's what you need them for.
That's
just fix Steve's microphone.
Tricks of the trade, that, Charlie, absolutely.
It'll be Sisadia in again. Around the wicket and defended. They think about the single there. Bartlett quite keen, I think, to keep this scoreboard ticking. 6 so far off this first over with a ball to come.
You'd like to think Bartlett's going to try and put this ball under some sort of pressure in terms of the way he likes to approach his cricket. Really intrigued by his approach to this delivery.
Yeah, just nicely defended. It's a good start for Somerset. 6 from the over. I mean, that's pretty much what they need. Just a little bit over that and they'll be happy.
Cricket's a strange game, isn't it? It's kind of like some Greek tragedy at times. You think about the career of Steve Davis. He's opening the batting again for Somerset in T20 cricket, but not so long ago he was the opening batter for England in T20 cricket. I say not so long ago, it was a while ago now, but sat on the screen, Somerset 9.49 runs per over in last year's Vitality Blast, the highest of all the teams. Showcases that the firepower that Somerset had last year with Babar and Banton at the top of the order.
And that opening partnership was just brilliant to watch last year. I was lucky enough to commentate on a few games last year. Absolutely brilliant. Watched a few more from the stands. It is a beautiful evening in Taunton. This is just what we were hoping for. There's so much rain around in the last few weeks, but it's clear. The floodlights are on. The next over begins again. Sticking with spin here, Glamorgan. George Bartlett's halfway up the pitch. Thankfully, it was a misfield. And there is no run as George Bartlett is sent back. And it's Salter from the pavilion end, the Marcus Truscothic pavilion, where we're sitting now. Around the wicket he comes, the right-hander, and this one just pushed onto the leg side. That's a nice easy run for Davies, who moves on to 2.
Yeah, Glamorgan's decision to open the bowling with 2 spinners, again highlighting potentially just a level of grip and the slowness of the surface, which was alluded to earlier. So yeah, that's going to be a potentially tricky assignment for Somerset. Be intriguing to see how they look to take advantage of that short boundary. Nobody has really looked to target it so far yet, and what level of left-hand, right-hand combinations that Somerset use as well. I'll be intrigued what Abel and Kerr come up with. This time Bartlett is down towards the short boundary. He gets most of it. That's gone for 6. First 6 of the Somerset innings. £50 to Somerset Disability Charity. What a shot. Bartlett skipped down the pitch to Salter, imposing himself on the game. That's what we want to see from the Somerset batters.
It's absolutely great to see that. Coming down the pitch, no fear. Nice shot from George Bartlett, just watching that back. Lovely. And as we found out, we've got used to, haven't we, watching the test matches and others, no crowd to throw the ball back, so the players, the only ones, and some designated ball boys as well, I think you were saying, Steve, from the youth, the pathways.
Yeah, who are the ball boys. They've had 3 games of T20 cricket today at the Somerset under 15 to under 18 Super Slam, and then they're here till about 10 o'clock.
Oh, you work them hard in the youth setup here at Somerset. And they're coming back for a second. This will have to be tight running. Yeah, it's good running in the end, and Bartlett does just get there. Really had to push down on the accelerator. He's coming back for that second run, but it's good running, and I mean, if they can keep that up this evening, then that'll be job done here. That's picking out those 2s where they can.
Yeah, hopefully you're getting some level of applause from the Somerset players on the effects mic, as that was, there's a few people watching in the flats just outside the ground, and the players really getting around that 2 runs from George Bartlett. This time give a chance at a catch, and I think Bartlett's gone this time. He's caught ball just nipping away or drifting in the air, and got an outside half of the bat. Bartlett looking to open himself up and almost repeat the shot that he hit for 6, and the ball spooned up in the air. Nice little bit of change of flight and pace from Salter, and George Bartlett has gone for 13. Somerset 15 for 1 off 1.5, and live by the sword, die by the sword. Bartlett looking to take the game to Glamorgan. That's how T20 cricket goes.
Yeah, and that is one of the risks of it. He'll be disappointed though, George Bartlett, who just hit that 6. Tried a similar shot, like you say, got that edge to it. And actually it was a good catch in front of him. The player, we've got a look at some of the fans who have come out on the balconies tonight. Look at that. They're coming to watch their team in action. Quite a few people. These are when you buy those flats, you think, we'll see a few days cricket, but so will the crowd be there. But no, this time they are the only crowd in.
There's a few more there than there were earlier, to be fair, weren't there? I think there's a bouncer on those entry-level doors down there.
So that is it's the end of George Bartlett. Somerset 15 for 1, chasing 134 here at Taunton. Salter comes in again, and this one pushed forwards. They'll go for a run there. It's nicely just back past the bowler. In comes Callum Taylor to do the fielding from mid-on.
One of the advantages, I guess, small advantages, Charlie, we're next door to the 1875 club here, aren't we, tonight? There's nobody manning the bar, so it's I have it on good authority. It's a free bar,
fully stocked bar, and no one there.
When I say free, yeah, I'm dubious whether it's free or not, but it's available.
Well, it's only next door. I mean, during the drinks break. Oh no, there isn't a drinks break, is there? The test match, we might have had some time to do that.
There's not much time in T20 cricket, but yeah, I'd love to see Hildreth and Davis really keep trying to take the game in this power play. No one up on the offside to the left arm spinner as Hildreth on strike. His second ball works one away on the onside. Typical Hildreth fashion, punchy pull shot with not much foot movement. He's been a huge asset to Somerset over the years, scored so many runs in all forms of the game. We won't even go there about England recognition tonight. It's been done, it's been said. You don't want to hear us moan on about that, but let's enjoy his batting tonight. So slightly different angles for Steve Davis. The ball spinning into him from the left arm spinner round the wicket as Sasoja is in again. This time Davis tries to open up the offside, and Sasoja follows him. And Hildreth and Davis, I guess you could mention them as fairly old hands now. They managed to scamper back for 2, but they're not that old. They must be kind of 35. That's still a young man in cricket these days, with Darren Stevens trucking away at 45.
So he's sent given a new contract as well at Kent. Yeah, good on Darren Stevens still going, but Hildreth's very quick between the wickets, as is Davies. Both of them keep themselves fit. Davies will wait for this one, the slow left armour in, and this one, nicely played. He made room for himself over on the towards the leg side. Just played it nicely. A slog sweep. Very nicely done from Steve Davis. You will see the replay here. So he just made room for himself on the leg side, takes a shuffle across his stumps. There it is, and just plays it beautifully over it. So it went for 4 in the end, just dropping inside the boundary. So another £25 given to the Somerset Disability and Visually Impaired squads and the Super Ones as well.
Yeah, Davis just using his angles superbly, just showing what experienced cricketer he is, not over-hitting the ball, just lifting it over Tim van der Gooten and Dan Douthwaite on the leg side here. Superb timing and elegance from Davis, as well as smartness of thought. And this time he ensures he scores off for the next delivery, just glancing it away on the onside for a single. It's 24 for 1 here after 2.4 overs. Somerset in response to Glamorgan's 133. Chasing that down, not quite with aplomb just yet, but looking to make the right noises. As you see on the screen, Bartlett's 6, which precipitated his dismissal. And Sasoja is in again, and Hildreth again this time works the ball off the back foot. There's no run. If you're just joining us, you've missed an awful lot so far tonight. We've had Ben Green's moustache create an account on Twitter. We've had Chino Watch with Steve Snell. We've had award-winning journalist Charlie Taylor. We've seen a bit of cricket as well. We've had Jordan, who's won a flat-screen TV, a pizza and a load of Thatchers. I don't know how many Thatchers he won, but going to keep him going for a little bit. That's all via our new streaming partners, Trade Nation, who are not only getting behind our broadcast but donating a shed load of money to charity tonight, which is great. 25 quid for 4s, 50 quid for 6s, plus I think there was a flat fee chucked in as well, and 250 quid if you hit one of the Trade Nation targets, which nobody has hit yet. Maybe we'll have a look at those in a minute.
We haven't seen too many 6s yet. I'm just going to look back and see in Glamorgan's innings we only saw 3. So and we've had already one from George Bartlett for Somerset. So actually we need to see a few more 6s when the Trade Nation signs get hit. 250 quid for charity. Absolutely fantastic initiative here. And today that's all to do with the Somerset disability squads, visually impaired squads, and the Super Ones as well. So keep an eye out for that one. We'll tell you when they get hit, don't worry.
Yeah, absolutely, really good initiative, which certainly we're enjoying here. And as change of bowling here, looks like Van der Gooten is on. A lot of numbers, a lot of name on the back of his shirt there. Certainly needs some sort of hyphen to keep all of that going together, which it's definitely a long one to get in, as Davis is on strike. Short boundary to the leg side, no mid-wicket in. Davis drives on the offside, there's no run. Slip in place from Glamorgan as well. They're looking to encourage Davis to play across the ball, which I quite like that in terms of from Glamorgan. They're looking to take wickets, and they need to do that to win this game.
I mean, it would be easy enough, wouldn't it, defending a low total like that, to try and just play totally defensively. But actually, Glamorgan here, as you say, attacking. I think it's Balbirnie in slip there, the Irish overseas player. And it's an attacking field, as you say. Got to take those wickets. Davies now firing that one. He's going to be caught. Here he is. Davies is gone as well. We're talking about getting wickets. He's been caught at mid-on, and Somerset 24 for 2 here. Both openers have gone.
Yeah, absolutely. He's caught just at mid-on there. It's by Cook, I think, taking the catch. It was disappointing. And Carlson, I beg your pardon, taking the catch. Disappointing end for Davis, but he was eyeing that gap, that short boundary. There was only 2 men on the leg side protecting it. So, again, just showing the cheese really there, Glamorgan, weren't they? The cheese in a mousetrap. And Davis falling into it somewhat, but you can't really disagree with the intent, looking to bring that short boundary into play in the first 6 overs. But, again, sometimes you have to be proactive on both sides, and Glamorgan making Davis hit across the ball has brought its rewards there.
Well, this is what we said. If there were early wickets, we could be in for a really tense night here in Taunton. Somerset 24 for 2. The captain, the stand-in captain, Tom Abel, joins James Hildreth at the crease. So Somerset here need to get through to the power play without losing any more wickets. They only need 110 more runs, so they've got plenty of time really in a T20 to score those runs with 16 and a bit overs left. But the problem for Somerset is that wicket column. It's going to be Tom Abel facing his first ball now as Van der Gooten is in, and that's nicely played out towards the point boundary. It's a beautiful shot to start off. Tom Abel there, not getting in at all, just playing a lovely guided shot through the point area. Just watch this. It's absolutely beautiful shot from Tom Abel as we bring it to you here on the live stream with Somerset County Cricket Club and Trade Nation. Look at that timing and everything in there, the poise, guile, all of that. Just beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a cold-hearted assassin, and not the words you'd use to describe Tom Abel ever, but there he was ruthlessly picking off that loose delivery from Van der Gooten.
In again. This one just angling the bat now down to third man, and that's how to pick up a single. It's 4 and then a single. It's good running. It's good work from Tom Abel. Clever cricket.
Yeah, just an observation there of Tom's first 2 balls, how late he's played both deliveries. He hasn't looked to overhit that first boundary, caressed the ball to the boundary, and then that's a good ball, that second ball from Van der Gutten. He jumped out as well in his delivery stride, coming wide of the crease, and Abel's just deftness and adeptness of his hands there just to guide that ball to third man just shows why he's such an exciting talent. Obviously previously good form. I think he's got a century against Glamorgan this season in the Bob Willis Trophy. This time it's going to be a sharp run. It could be tight. Ball's thrown at Abel as he runs to the striker's end. It's a leg by off James Hildreth. Somerset 29 for 2. We mentioned earlier just about how important it is to target the power play. Just have a look at this 6 from George Bartlett against Andrew Salter. Fortunately, George did depart soon after this, but great footwork. Comes inside to out with the bat face, deliberately to bring the short boundary into play and lift it over mid-off. And he tried to do exactly the same thing, and the ball after, and unfortunately hold out to that man at mid-off, as this time Van der Gutten slower ball and there's no run. That's the end of the over. It's 30 for 2 after 4 overs, and Glamorgan are in the game here.
Yeah, this is turning into a really interesting battle now. We wondered whether Somerset might finish this one off quickly. It's a lowish total for Somerset to chase down. At this ground, you'd say normally you'd aim 175, 180 around there, and only 133 runs on the board. But 2 early wickets for Glamorgan has brought them right back into this under the floodlights here at Taunton. Just see the outline of the Quantocks. They're going to fade from view shortly here. It's a beautiful scene. It's a shame that there's no crowd here. We'll bring it to you live on the stream. It's going to be Cisadilla from the river end to James Hildreth, who's playing that one into the point area. There's loads of fielders there, but they've taken the run. Nicely played. Nicely run. And it just keeps that, not only changing the strike over, but the scoreboard just moving up every now and then. When you're chasing a low total, those are so useful, those singles.
We mentioned earlier what has been going on in the cricket. Obviously Glamorgan posting 133 as Soldiers in again, and this time Abel, sharp footwork, pulled away on the onside, doesn't quite time it, but it's for a single. But all sorts of things have been happening. We've had some extraordinary revelations that Brian the Cat is actually a female and may be pregnant. We've had Ben Green's moustache, we've had Charlie Taylor's award-winning broadcasts, we've had pitch reports, charity giveaways, somebody
chinos,
winning pizzas, TVs, Thatchers, as Hildreth again bunts one down the ground. This wicket is quite slow here this evening. But what's next, Charlie, in terms of what we're expecting for the remainder of the evening? Charity giveaways, did I mention that? The Trade Nation donations. Sasoja is in again. Lovely action, and he's whipped away on the reverse sweep this time by Hildreth. Everybody's up on the offside. He's taken advantage of the space that is in front of the Andrew Caddick Pavilion. 4 more. That's £25 to charity.
Well, I mean, when you've got the players up like that, as long as you get a little bit of height on it, just clear that ring. Here we go. Look at this. It shapes up for it. There it is, over the top, and there's no hope for Glamorgan stopping that one. Cisadilla in again. And this time played into the leg side by Hildreth just for a single. This is really nice cricket from Somerset at the moment. These two playing nicely. 37 for 2. The target now has gone below 100 runs for Somerset, and they've still got 15 overs and 1 ball to get them.
Yeah, I know what I was missing. The live streaming style, the hashtags, what we've had as well. We've had people tweeting at us from all over the world. We need to probably get some stuff on the Instagram as well. But there's only so much time in the day as Tom Abel rocks onto the back foot and hits another pull shot for a single. Doesn't quite time. We've had people from Norway, Belgium, the Bahamas, India, Pakistan. We've got Herb tweeting saying it's not cider, he's having some real ale, but loving the live stream and the cricket. Mr. Smith watching both Somerset and Banton and Gregory for England, absolutely loving your Tuesday nights as we just see some of the lucky people who are fortunate enough to live close to the ground so they can actually watch. A stat check from Mark. When was the last time Max Waller dropped a catch in the T20 Blast, lads? Getting the Tom Abel Fielding Masterclass DVD for Christmas. Absolutely love that. A bit of bants between the Waller and Abel competition. Maybe we'll have to do high catching next for the competition. I'm sure Trade Nation will get all over that as well. Somebody, one of the grumpy Somerset fans, that's his own Twitter hashtag, that's not me labelling him, as Tom Abel edges one away on the offside for a single. Mentioned about why just tip and run, keep up with the rate. Well, we're giving them a sniff. I don't think they're doing it deliberately. Charlie, I think Glamorgan are bowling really effectively here.
Well, don't forget the 2 wickets down. Actually, Somerset lose another quick 2, and they're they're in a bit of trouble here. So these two have got to do a bit of rebuilding. I know it's only 20 overs, and rebuilding isn't something that you can do too much of in such a short space of time. But actually, it's what's needed here. These two playing sensibly. 39 for 2.
Dave Burton is watching from Champaign, Illinois. It seems a long way away, as this time Hildreth whacks one away on the offside. It's a one bounce four, a bit outside edge from him, but it is a boundary all the way from Illinois. I love that. That's absolutely commitment. Come on, skip. As Hildreth, we just see him opening up the face here from Van der Gooten, skipping down the track, whirling the ball away on the offside. High quality shot from a high quality player. I wonder how many times he's found those boundary boards on front of the retirement flats. They must be almost in the thousands.
Van der Gooten from the pavilion end, and that's nicely played out towards point. And they will get a single here. It wasn't taken cleanly. It was a good stop, but not a clean stop from the fielder. And that is a single there. Let's take a look at that reverse sweep, shall we, again from Hildreth. It was so good to watch. Here we'll see it from the side angle as he just changes his position, times it just beautifully. When you've got all those players inside the ring, it reduces the risk of that shot by so much that it becomes a completely legitimate way of scoring runs early on. As that one just played out into the leg side for a single there. These two keeping that scoreboard ticking over. 45 for 2. Doing nicely here. Actually, although a lot of singles are being taken, actually heading towards what is a fairly decent score runs wise in a power play. You wouldn't be too displeased with that. 2 balls left in it. If they can get up to 50 actually, then that's certainly something which they'll be very pleased with, and it'll leave them just 83 to get for the rest, or 84 to get for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
certainly
think that balance of intent, Charlie, of looking to score, but also some composure. I think certainly that experience from Hildreth, as well as the craft and the ability to play those shots of high quality, which we've seen already, no doubt will stand him in good stead. But I think almost as the fielders go out, Somerset have got the luxury of knowing what they need, what type of risks they need to take in order to chase this total down. Glamorgan were probably always considering the fact they didn't have enough, hence that seems to ensure dismissals because they have to keep going quite hard.
Van der Gooten, that's a lovely drive from Abel. It's going to be a single. Oh, they didn't think they would for a second because it was taken pretty cleanly by Marchand de Lange, who's at mid-off, but in the end it was a bit of a fumble when they came through for a single. So good running. 47 for 2 from the power play, which isn't too bad at all. I think they'll be pretty pleased with that, considering the total is 134, their target.
Yeah, it's been a very strange time for everyone, of course, with the COVID-19, not least for the players. If we look at the pictures there, where they're actually getting changed in the Colin Atkinson pavilion, we've had to move across from the Andrew Caddick pavilion, so the players' changing rooms are now where the conference and events hub used to be. So it takes a little bit of getting used to. They don't have the kind of comfy lockers anymore, which hopefully they'll be able to return to next season. We mentioned earlier about Tom Abel and the fact that you'd let your daughter marry him, or probably actively encourage it, or even offer some sort of dowry potentially, given the quality of the man he is as he runs one way on the offside. One of the qualities we haven't mentioned is his running between the wickets. He's absolutely electric between the wickets, not only in terms of his pace, but his turning in and out to get those twos. James Hildreth, of course, is a little bit older than he is, but still he is a good judge of a run, that kind of experienced hand. So I've enjoyed how they've attacked the run in between the wickets so far. Another great example as Abel scampers for a single to short fine leg. You can't do that without good commitment and athleticism either.
Take a look at this drive from Hildreth here. Nicely done. In comes Cisadilla then from the river end, continuing around the wicket, and this one again just another single. I know we've had people saying why are they giving Glamorgan a sniff here with playing the singles, but in this situation I think it is the right thing to do, just to keep that scoreboard. Look at that, 50 with 6.3 overs gone, and just 84 needed from the remaining 13.5 overs. So I mean, it's putting them in a good position. They can start hitting a bit more later on. This one just nicely played by Hildreth. That shot, very typical of him. He plays that drive through the covers, actually away from his body, which isn't really what you'll see in the textbooks, but he plays it really with good effect, and he's picked up a single there, just picking the gap between the two fielders at the covers.
Yeah, keep using the hashtag streaming style. Show us where you're watching, listening from. We're absolutely loving the tweets as this time Abel drives away on the onside for a single. Hopefully you're enjoying the coverage. I'm absolutely loving the production that's being brought by the guys next door in terms of the slow motion replays, etc. I don't know what's next. Hopefully a couple of seasons we'll have a roof so we never get any rain and some Hawkeye. Maybe that'll be the next step, Charlie. I think Ben's having a heart attack next door as this is driven on the offside this time, and there's no run. It's 52 for 2 off 7.
Yeah, just keeping the scoring going there, and we'll find out a bit more about Tom Abel now. He does score quickly, and actually the singles do add to that. He scored at 176.8 in the middle overs, as you can see there. Last year, so he really upped his game last year. He transformed himself a bit, really, and actually got a gig in the 100, which obviously didn't happen in the end. But I don't think before last season in the T20 maybe he would have been an obvious pick for a 100 side, but because of his quick scoring, showed in several of the games, in particular the one where he scored 100 against Middlesex last year. Played really well for that 100, and has transformed himself into a T20 player. I want to say as well, for those following one of Somerset's other players, not in this game, but playing for England, Tom Banton is 35 not out for England. They're chasing 191 to win that game. It's 52 for 2 here. Charlie Taylor and Steve Snell with you on the live stream for Somerset County Cricket Club, being brought to you by Trade Nation. And Somerset will be pretty pleased with where they are. 2 wickets down, which isn't so good, but at the moment, the run rate that's required is 6.5. Or just under 6.5 and over, so very much in Somerset's hands at the moment as it'll be DeLanger to come in from the pavilion end. This one pushed forwards nicely through the covers. That's a glorious shot from the captain, Tom Abel there, who has timed that very sweetly, picked a gap, 4 more runs and £25 more for charity.
That was such a good shot, Charlie. I nearly picked up the coat hanger behind this sign and tried to replicate that. That was beautiful. What a shot. Timing and hands through the ball from Abel. Shot of the night for sure. Oozing class. What an absolute beauty that from the skipper. Superb.
DeLanger in again. Oh, he's ducked underneath that one, Abel. He shaped to pull that, I think, and realised it was going to come a little bit higher than he intended.
The stat about Tom Abel and his runs in the middle overs, I think, is a really interesting one, because what Tom has got, not only his running between the wickets, efficient and athletic, now his quality of shots, and I think he scored the most runs with the scoop shot as well last season. His ability to score all the way around the ground, added to his running between the wickets, makes him such a dangerous player. As this time, again, without hitting the ball, he strokes it to the boundary. He hasn't murdered it, he hasn't whacked it, he hasn't thwacked it, he hasn't touched the ball at all. He's glided that for 4. Beautiful use of his hands.
What I really like, and I mentioned this transformation of Abel as we take a look at the replay here, just to see how he, like you say, just guiding that one. What I like is he's playing proper cricket shots as well as the scoop, which he seems to have worked really hard on. But that's a perfectly good proper cricket shot. Saw a gap, used the pace on the ball that was there already from DeLanger, who really does throw them down very quickly, and used his skills from red ball to pick the gap there. As DeLanger's in again. What will Abel do this time? It's a Yorker and he's dug it out.
Yeah, great to see how Tom's approaching his cricket tonight. And I think the way that last season, I think he's highlighted his quality and class. It earned him those opportunities, I think, in the Bangladesh Premier League and with England A, which no doubt would have given him the confidence and further skill and rubbing shoulders with other top players. That has to bring your game on for sure. And what we're seeing now is somebody playing with some maturity, confidence, and also a high level of skill, as well as he scampers for another single, takes himself on to 22. Somerset a 61 for 2. Philip watching in Costa del Firepool, he said. So we've got.
We can probably see you. We're not far away from Firepool.
Give us a wave if we can see you. Just going through a few tweets.
Careful.
It's been a long night just for that, and he slips of the tongue. So we nearly got there. Fabulous shots from Tom Abel against DeLanger. So smooth, says Stephen. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. As DeLanger Yorker is squeezed out by James Hildreth, and that's the end of the 8th over.
The shot that took Abel onto 21 was that lovely guided shot just backwards of square. That was taken up to 21 from just 14 balls, so he's playing at a strike rate of 150 up to that point, was Tom Abel. So using those skills, and actually for people who've been texting in, tweeting us saying, well, hang on a minute, why aren't we seeing them really take it to Glamorgan? Well, he's scoring at 150. There's the cover drive there from Tom Abel. Absolutely beautiful timing from the stand-in captain. But they're scoring at 150. James Hildreth's scoring just over 100. So actually, this is going well for Somerset. This is what we need to see. Is just over a run a ball is the run rate that's required, and Somerset going at more than that.
Yeah, changing the bowling. Douthwaite's on from the Ian Botham stand. I've got some breaking news, Charlie. I know obviously we're endeavouring to, I guess, bump up the coverage from our live stream with different camera angles. We've also got some live journalists on the streets of Taunton tonight. I've got one of our reporters has mentioned that Brian the cat is not pregnant. She also has a lovely home in the next street. So,
there we go.
Apologies if I've offended anyone there. As Abel is beaten outside the off stump, maybe we can have some sort of sponsorship with Brian the Cat and the RSPCA as part of next Trade Nation agreement. But appreciate the investigative reporting as we see Tom Abel there. Just look at his hands working effectively behind the ball, letting the ball come into his space and then sending the ball on its way. That's the mark of a high quality batsman and high quality batsmanship on any level. As Douthwaite is in again, the ball's pulled away on the leg side. The fielder who's out there, Billy Root, can't get it. It goes for 4 runs. That's another £25 to Somerset Disability Cricket, and Tom Abel is the man to bring it up. Superb shot just off the back foot. Not only can he play beautiful shots off the front, that was a sexy ball shot. Just let the ball come to him, worked it away the boundary. 4 more runs. Yep,
Somerset going nicely here. 65 for 2 from 8.2 overs. It'll be Douthwaite heading in, bowling to the captain, Tom Abel, who will just play this down nicely through to a wide long on, and that's just a single added. So 66 for 2 is the score. Hildreth on 16 and Tom Abel 27. This is a good bit of rebuilding going on here. The wicket fell at 24, the second wicket. So already we've seen a partnership of 42 from these two in not very much time at all. Douthwaite in again over the wicket, and this time Hildreth just happy to play that backwards of square on the leg side and just pick up the single for it. It's good cricket from these two. As night now has pretty much arrived here in Taunton. Can't really pick out the Quantocks much anymore. And the floodlights full on. What I like about the floodlights, when you see them on in Taunton and you're around the county town and you're not at the cricket, is that everyone will be looking at them thinking, what is going on there? Is this one? It's fired backwards of square. It's a lovely shot from Abel, who saw the width, played through it, and edged it backwards of square on the offside for 4 more runs.
Yeah, running out of superlatives here for Tom Abel. He's showing his capability and his comprehensive dispatchment of the ball from all around the wicket here. He's looking very composed and calm out there too. He's let himself get in and he's raced to 31 in absolutely no time at all, and he looks the danger man as far as Somerset's concerned, but he's hardly hitting the ball off the carpet here.
No, it's been really good so far. Here he is again, this time all flicking it into the air. A bit of a chip shot onto the leg side, perfectly safe, no fielders in, and the mid-wicket fielder comes in from near the boundary to field it. End of that over, 72 for 2. Let's take a look at the that pull shot again from the Somerset captain. There he is, just flicking it around the corner. Nicely played from Tom Abel. You're listening to the live stream. You can see us as well, as we'll bring you all of these matches for you from the home games here at Taunton. We've got our next one coming up on Friday. That's not Somerset's next game because they're away at Edgbaston on Thursday, taking on Worcestershire. No, that's not a mistake. They are taking on Worcestershire at Edgbaston. It's a double header. That one you can watch on Sky. There'll be live BBC commentary, and then we're back for the live stream here at Taunton Friday night. Do join us then as well. Birmingham Bears the opponents on Friday. DeLange over the wicket to Abel. Lovely shot again, and that one has picked out a gap. Oh, Abel's in beautiful form here tonight. That is a glorious shot through extra cover.
Oh, what a shot by Abel. Again, we're talking about how he's getting his hands behind the ball and opening up the offside, but he's doing this with so much calmness and composure. Talk a lot with our young players about getting the bat through the ball and extending the bat face. Tom Abel is putting on a masterclass here. Those people in the flats should be charged for some sort of masterclass batting clinic, Charlie, from what we're seeing. Is absolutely superb from him. 36 racing away there, just 22 deliveries, Abel, and DeLange showing his frustration by bowling not just one wide, but a huge wide down the leg side, trying to spear one in at Tom Abel. There are 2 men out, positioned for the hook to the longer boundary, so you can see there is rationale behind the thought, but the execution was poor. Somerset in a really good position here, 77 for 2 of 9.1 overs. An early scare with the wickets of Bartlett and Davis, but they're really pressing ahead now as DeLange this time, and this time Abel's on the pull shot. He doesn't beat the man at deep square leg. It's fielded pretty comfortably. And there's just a single as James Hildreth is on strike, 17 off 17. All sorts going on here tonight. We've got a streaming style hashtag showing us where you're watching from. We've got money going to charity through our streaming partners, Trade Nation. Nobody's managed to hit the Trade Nation boards yet, which are up in the stands. There's still plenty of time for that. Maybe on Friday when Babar Azam and Tom Banton are back in the ranks, they may be in a little bit more danger, as this time the running between the wickets from Abel and Hildreth, proactive, athletic, exemplary, good calling. I'm sure we could find a few other good things about it.
Well, these two, they know each other so well, don't they? Hildreth, who has been a stalwart for Somerset for so many years now, won this competition with the county. The only player left who was in that squad in 2005. And Abel, who is we've watched grow through the ranks over the last 5 and more years, just looking a really good quality cricketer and showing all of that experience here. 37 he's on. De Lange is in, and Abel flicking this one off his toes, square on the leg side, and they'll come through for a run there, which will take them into the 80s. They need 54 more runs. They've got over half the innings left to go. The required run rate here is just 5.2, which in a T20 is pressure off for the batting side. 5.2, it's less than a run a ball. So Somerset in the driving seat. It's Hildreth on strike this time. There's a big shout, not given. And there's no run there either.
Philip has mentioned, delighted to learn that Charlie Taylor at Somerset CC, that the rumours around Brian the Cat and possible pregnancy were untrue. It's just too many.
Just take a look at Hildreth's footwork here. Here he comes, jumps down the wicket to play that out nicely onto the offside. It's a really good bit of work from the Somerset man. In comes De Lange again. This one turned around onto the leg side. Nicely played. That'll be a single for James Hildreth. He moves up to 19. That's the end of the 10th over. We're halfway through this innings. And Somerset 81 for 2. They require another 53 runs from the next 10 overs. So very much in control here as the night draws in. There's almost a little, almost looks a little bit misty. You were talking earlier on about the September dew coming in already. You've noticed it just feels like there's looking over the top of the river behind the Ian Botham stand there. It just feels like there's a little bit of haze around.
Yeah, that's a good point, Charlie. It's something we didn't give any consideration to. Certainly we did the pitch report earlier. I certainly remember from T20 finals day of years gone by that has obviously played later in the year. Actually the dew enables the ball to skid on as we look across the famous church, as this time a slower ball from Douthwaite. There's no run as Hildreth wafts at it. But yeah, that might enable the ball to skid onto the bat and actually make it easier for batting, particularly on slow pitches.
Yeah, more difficult fielding as well if the ball's picking up moisture off the ground there. Look at St James's Church there. The famous backdrop to so many pictures of this famous ground. Lit up by the floodlights, these new floodlights, only in their second year of use. Just played out into the offside for a single. So just turning the strike over, which is nicely done when you only need 5.4 and over. That's no bad thing. Just chipping away at that total.
Yeah, Hildreth just again trying to impart some pace on the ball by coming down the wicket. Obviously recognising that the wicket potentially may be a tad slow, so actually he's looking to gain some momentum into the ball by using his feet, and so far doing that effectively. He's been an excellent foil for Tom Abel, who chops the ball over backward.
Wow.
Cat-like nails out, and he's just gently caressing that ball to the boundary for 4. What a shot! And the cat is purring. Not believe if we could hear it. Tom Abel is putting on an absolute
he knew the fielder was there. I saw him look towards that area before the ball was played. Played it into the ground and over the fielder's head, straight into a gap. Obviously not fielding behind the fielder as Douthwaite's in again. This one, I think that's an arm or a knuckle ball there. Just a slower one coming out of the hand, maybe back of the hand. But Abel was wise to it, picked up the single from it. The score moves on to 87 for 2, now just 47 required. That 4, and every boundary that gets hit not only raises money for charity, but just brings that run rate quite a lot down. It's we're going to that stage of the innings where the run rate fluctuates a lot with dot balls and with other scores, and there's I tell you what, Abel is a little bit, Hildreth's a little bit lucky there. He came down the pitch. The bowler tried to bowl a bit wider to him. I think he saw him coming down the pitch. And in the end, the umpire's given it as a wide, so it must have been a little bit too wide for him. But he slipped over as he came down the pitch there, trying to reach out for that wider delivery. 88 for 2. In comes the bowler, Douthwaite. This one pushed out onto the leg side by Hildreth, and there's just a single added on. 89 for 2.
Yeah, apologies if I had any mic problems from my end, but I was probably just droning on about all sorts of rubbish, so you probably haven't missed anything at all. Hopefully you have me loud and clear now. Just talking about Tom Abel in terms of some of the shots that he's played. He's 43 off 26 deliveries. He's playing absolutely magnificent out here tonight as he tries to pull the ball savagely, but only gets a single. But he hasn't taken a risk, Charlie. He's got 44 not out of 27 deliveries. He's at 7 boundaries, which, times 25 for Somerset Disability Cricket. Trade Nation donating to charity. Absolutely superb.
Yeah, it's really nice to see that. Those figures are adding up. We'll get a full total for you by the end of the game as just to how much money's been given. £1,000 guaranteed at least, and then adding in all the extra money that gets hit from every 4 and 6. We're still yet to see those the big tees set up around the ground here. Great big boards. If you haven't seen them yet, we'll see if we can get a picture of them for you on the live stream coverage. For those who are just joining us, perhaps haven't picked them out yet. They're great big orange and white boards here in the ground, and if they get hit by a 6, 250 quid straight to the chosen charity is donated by Trade Nation, who are bringing you this live stream in connection with the county cricket club here at Somerset. So they've got these great, I think there are quite a few of them set up.
Sorry to interrupt, Charlie. A few more streaming style tweets, please send them in. The most obscure places, the better. But even if you're watching in Taunton, we'd love to hear that you're engaged and enjoying this live stream as well. And if you're enjoying it, I'd like to hear a bit more about something. Give us some feedback as well. It'd be great to hear from you at Somerset CCC or at Charlie Taylor 27 or at Charlie Taylor 4. He's saying to me, I beg your pardon, Charlie. Let us know what's going on as Tom Abel just works one on the onside for 2 more runs, takes him on to 46. It's 92 for 2 here. Somerset going great guns. It's been a enterprise innings this from Abel in all sorts of ways. I mentioned his run in between the wickets on a few occasions. Salter back into the attack in case you hadn't realised, and Abel again on the back foot. This time strokes another ball wide of cover. It's going to go for another boundary. That's Tom Abel's 50. What a superb innings that is. He brings it up with an elegant back foot punch. 50 runs, 29 deliveries. It'd be one of the more classy T20 innings that I've ever watched. You associate T20 cricket with brutality, with force. Tom Abel, he's doing it with class, elegance and panache.
It's absolutely beautiful. Some of those shots we've watched tonight, you won't see too much better in Test match cricket. That was absolutely lovely, playing mostly in the offside. Here one into the leg side now. But absolutely stunning timing. Beautiful. I mean, the footwork, the bat speed, everything about it is just great to watch. And in particular, the placement is what's so good about it, is because you can hit all those lovely shots straight to fielders. But here, Tom Abel tonight, picking those gaps, picking up lots of 4s, and not much risk attached to it at all, if any.
Yeah, he's hardly hit a fielder in the ring at all. He's just managed to stroke the ball past them on numerous occasions, and it's great to see him playing so smartly but also so effectively for Somerset cause. In, I guess, relation to what we talked about earlier in terms of Somerset's bowling attack, the spinners in the middle overs have bowled with more width. The Glamorgan spinners, as this time Salter tosses one up and Hildreth's down the pitch, there's no run, but there's no doubt they've offered more width, but the footwork has been of high quality for Abel to ensure that he can put those balls away.
Yeah, and Salter's in again here is a reverse sweep from Hildreth, who picks up a single for that one. The thing that's impressed me about Somerset is just how clinical they've been in this run chase. It's not been full of risk, and those 2 wickets did fall early on, and that can sometimes cause issues in the batsmen's minds. They come in worrying about what the state of play is. Abel just pushing this one, forcing a single from the onside, and they've just been very professional about it. These 2 have come out and been absolutely, well, chanceless, but very, very professional in the way they're chasing this down. So the 99 is on the board. They're chasing 134 to win, so they need another 35 runs. They've got 8 overs to do that in. As you can see, a scoreboard there, just showing us some of the stats from today. It'll be a while since many of you will have seen that in action, the scoreboard here at Taunton. But Somerset well in control here with just the 35 runs needed from 8 overs. And as you can see in the bottom right of that scoreboard there, required rate 4.4.
Tom Abel is a gun, say Taunton Cricket Club, which is the home of Tom Abel. In terms of Tom Abel scored an awful lot of runs there at Taunton Vale. It's hard to disagree with that. Just showing what a classy player he is. I have to say I'm enjoying this innings more than most in T20. It's an innings of pureness and quality as opposed to chance, which sometimes is equally as effective in T20 cricket. And you can tell by the Glamorgan players' body language is they are shipwrecked, dead and buried here without a boat to sail home on. I know it's not too far back across the Severn Bridge, but they look as though they're I wouldn't say they've thrown in the towel yet, but they're the corner signalling for them to give up, aren't they?
You can tell from a body language of a team, and looking around, heads are down, and they're slumped. This is not the way they wanted tonight to go. 35 runs needed from 8 overs. Somerset well in the box seat here with still 8 wickets in hand as well. So Glamorgan here, it's like you say, it's going to be feeling like a long old trip back to Cardiff, you'd think, for them. But it's T20. Anything can happen. Anything can change. Somerset certainly in the box seat. And as we've heard, as you've been saying, they've played actually very well, picking up singles and twos where they can, playing some beautiful red ball style shots for 4. Very little risk involved so far. But T20 can do funny things. It'll be Wag coming in from the river end, and this one played nicely by Abel out into the leg side. Again, just picking up those ones where they're there.
That's 100 up for Somerset, 100 for 2 in the 13th over, 12 for 1, just 34 to win. If this was, that old style computer games like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, those graphics finish him would appear in the bottom. I don't know, I've got you down as a video gamer, Charlie. I certainly wasn't, but I've shown my age a bit now. But the game is there for the taking for Somerset if they are ruthless and composed enough to finish this. Glamorgan don't seem to have any answers to the class of Abel and also the patience of Hildreth. We talked a lot about the quality of Abel. James Hildreth has been very patient in his innings so far, recognising that all he needs to do is get off strike. He hasn't looked to do anything too dangerous. We did see that reverse sweep that went over the top 4-4, but he's definitely showing that he's more than happy to play that supporting role. He's very happy to be, I guess, Robin to Batman.
Well, and when you've got
some other great combinations, Charlie. I'm sure you've got some more on the tip of your tongue than myself.
Wag in, and this time Hildreth just finding a gap for a run there as he plays it down to third man. And that you can afford to do that in this situation. Somerset don't need both batsmen to be going hell for leather. They've got one batsman who clearly is seeing it really nicely, playing beautiful shots in Tom Abel, and Hildreth just happy to, when he gets on strike, get back off it again. Thank you to Mark, who's been in touch on Twitter, who sent me a picture of his cat. Who's watching the stream, cat actually keeping their close eye on the stream there. Thanks for showing us your setup. Hashtag streaming style. Thank you, Mark, for getting in touch. And thank you as well to Charles, who says the Mags family enjoying the streaming here in deepest, darkest Gloucestershire as Abel firing that one out into the offside. They'll stick with a single there. Bring it home, boys, says Charles. Thanks very much. Good to hear from you, Charles. You can get in touch with us at Somerset CCC, at It's Trade Nation. You can use the hashtag streaming style. You can show us your setup tonight. And if you've got the snacks out and on the go, maybe you've got the drinks flowing as well, even though it's a Tuesday night and the bank holiday was yesterday. We'd love to see it. Get in touch with us.
Yeah, I had a bit of a savage bank holiday actually. I cycled the Strawberry Line, Charlie. We haven't had a chance to chat about this. T20 is so busy as Hildreth hit on the pad, a bit of a appeal there, and that's just a leg by. But yeah, cycled 24 miles yesterday on my first day off since lockdown. So I think that's why I'm stood up today. I've got a few DOMs, to be honest. Beautiful part of the world, Somerset. Lucky to live here. Just trying to think of some other great combinations of Hildreth and Abel. We've got, I guess, Delboy and Rodney, but slightly more comical and probably less precise in their delivery.
It's Rodney Hildreth, is that what we're going with? I don't know how we take that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Shearer and Sutton, Blackburn, Premiership, they're good combo. Yeah, I'm sure there's far better ones out there. Please feel free to tweet Somerset CCC. Great partnerships, and that is another great shot. 25 quid more to Somerset Disability Cricket. Tom Abel has got a pull shot, wasn't far off hitting that board, that Trade Nation board there. That would have been 250 quid, not quite to be, but a super shot. Abel latched onto that, walloped that ball to the short boundary, which I have to be honest has been in play far less than I thought it might be for the duration of this game, but nonetheless an effective shot from Abel. It's 107-4-2 and Somerset a rock and roll into victory here.
Yeah, much. If that had been a 6 in the same line as that, the line was right, it would have hit the Trade Nation board there. 250 quid for the disability squad. In comes Wag. This one turned onto the leg side by Abel, and they'll pick up another single there. The run rate has dropped down now to just 3.7. So Somerset, I mean, if they don't bring home a victory from here, would be very surprising and really worrying for the squad. They're doing very, very well indeed. It's good work. You can get in touch with us at Somerset CCC to tell us about where you're watching it. We'd love to see your setup, please, as we get towards the end of this T20 match, the first at Taunton this year. 13 overs gone, 108 for 2.
Yeah, I think Charlie and myself are very keen to engage with everyone watching at home. As that ball went for 4 from Tom Abel, that the words that Bumble commentary legend, start the car, in my head. Maybe Taunton will have turn on the tractor or something like that, Charlie. Something a little bit different. We can create our own kind of Somerset winning post. I know that we have Blackbird if we win the games, but I'm sure if you've got anything good suggestions at home, then please feel free to.
We've got the river there, haven't we? Maybe something to do with kayaks or canoes. Head at home on there on the River Tone. In comes Salter, slow ball, that one it's pushed out towards the boundary. It'll just be a single there as it's fielded by DeLanger, and the score moves up to 109 for 2. And even these singles now are damaging for Glamorgan. 3.7 needed per over. Somerset in control, looking good for their first win in the T20 competition this year.
You get to the stage of the game as this time it's just knocked down the ground easily by Hildreth. Every run, it's just a knife twisting in every Glamorgan sinew. You just see this game ebbing away without anything they can do about it. All the noise, all the bluster, all the come on boys, it's not going to get them anywhere close, I don't feel, to this, as Abel and Hildreth just seemingly have this under control as another sweep to the onside. There could be a twist yet, there always is, but these guys are so experienced that you'd have to think this would be a game lost from the depths of hell if Somerset weren't to get over the line here.
And Glamorgan will be very disappointed, I think, with the way they've played today. I think their batting was they almost went too quickly, tried to play too much too soon. Got out to some silly shots, got out to 2 scoop shots, which never looks good when you get out to them, as this one is just pushed out. No real effort there to score any more than a single from James Hildreth, who moves on to 25, playing the holding role here for Somerset. Glamorgan, I think, will be disappointed with that. I think that actually they probably, had they been defending something like 170, 180, I think they'd be pretty pleased with the way they've been bowling at the moment. But Abel is on form and he's finding the gaps nicely. There's another single to him there.
Just a few more tweets for you. Gemma saying Tom Abel is such a beautiful cricketer to watch. I think you mean his back foot drive there, Gemma. I know we've been speaking about his eligibility, but everything seems so effortless and looks very classy. Going well, lads. So good to see you back under the lights. Just wish we could be at the county ground watching. #very able. Certainly agree with that, Gemma. It'd be great to see you all soon back here for real. I know everybody will be gagging to get back here and watch some cricket and see the boys play, as that's another single on the onside from Hildreth. That's 114 for 2. I beg your pardon. Tom Abel takes him on to 62. Hildreth on 26.
So that's what we're just looking at there. Sorry, Steve, to interrupt. That's one of the boards there. For those who have joined late, perhaps haven't seen this, it's the first time they've been used. That orange and white sign, the TN, for Trade Nation. If they get hit directly from a 6, 250 quid donated by Trade Nation to whichever is the chosen charity of the day. Today that's the Somerset Disability Squad, the visually impaired squad, and the Super Ones as well. And also Trade Nation giving 50 quid for every 6, 25 quid for every 4, and we'll bring you exactly how much that is by the end of the game once we know the full total.
Yeah, I've been tallying it up as I go, so I'll be able to bring you that later, I promise. It's a big lie that I've got no idea, but we will be informed, I'm sure. Ben Green, class bowling, class tash, class mullet, class all round really, says Charlie. Loving that feedback, Charlie, as that ball's driven away on the offside by James Hildreth. Thanks for the service. The streaming service, says Harry, streaming beautifully through to Calgary in the footholds of the Rockies.
Wow.
Tom Abel is batting as sumptuously as ever. Come on, Somerset. Stoach and Leaks. Great partnership. Stokes and Leach. Oh, how could I forget that? from Peter, watching
Oh,
from
yeah.
Bath. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the great ones, Stokes and Leaks. And Paul is saying, come on, Tom and Hildy, get that net run rate up and get us home. That's another good point that could be prevalent later on in the competition. But I'm sure Somerset will be focused on just getting through this game.
Yeah, no, it's certainly worth thinking about, isn't it? It's Abel hammers this one into the leg side, just the single from that one. It's certainly worth thinking about. I mean, there's still over 5 overs to go here. And they only need 18 runs. So, I mean, the run rate is going to be pretty good here for Somerset. Assuming they don't drag it out right to the end, which it doesn't look like they're planning on doing here. Is Tom Abel still, I mean, that shot had a bit of ferocity with it, so still looking for those boundaries, just picking out the fielder on that occasion. It's been a pretty dismal night for Glamorgan, not much to celebrate. Those early wickets, maybe we thought they might bring them into them, but not much really to celebrate. As another one comes in there from Wag. And there's no run as Hildreth just ducked underneath that one, so 116 for 2.
Yes, very proud of the stream team, says Sam. He works with us, but a lot of work gone in the background for this production. So hopefully you're enjoying the pictures from what is a beautiful night here in Taunton under the lights. Somerset just strolling along to victory here, 116 for 2. Hildreth on 27, Abel on 63. Graham Wagg not bowling with quite the level of ferocity and aggressiveness. That's a brilliant fielding on the boundary by DeLange. He's a big man. There's a brutal pull shot from Hildreth. And DeLange got down hard to his right. It was a one-handed stop. It was superb fielding. Glamorgan haven't had much to shout about so far tonight, but that was outstanding fielding by, I think I mentioned we had strapping thighs early. He certainly used all of those power to get down and stop that ball. Superb from him. Graham Wagg just seems a bit off key tonight. He hasn't quite bowled with the same level of aggression and also kind of gets quite nasty at times. Wagg with the ball as he runs his fingers over that ball. It's misfielded by Carlson at cover, and they come through for a single. 118 for 2. There's one ball left in the 15th over. Things going really well here for Somerset. As Charlie mentioned, there's been an awful lot going on tonight. Just to reiterate, Brian the Cat is not pregnant, just a bit fat. Apologies for any rumours that I'm spreading around Taunton. I know news does travel fast in the southwest. Also, we've had competition winner Jordan has won a flat screen TV and some pizzas. I don't know how big the pizza was. Hopefully it was a Mahusive one.
50-inch TV, 50-inch pizza.
Yeah, absolutely sounds about right. And hopefully more than one Thatcher's, as this time the ball is whacked through the offside by Tom Abel. He's hit that one even harder. James Hildreth, I beg your pardon. They do look a little bit similar. He's hit that one even harder than most balls have been hit tonight. What a shot that is. Just let the ball come into his space and sent it on its way towards the end, the Colin Atkinson Pavilion.
Yeah, it's nice to see Hildreth open his shoulders a bit. He's been pushing around for 1s and 2s, and here he is, given a bit of licence now with just 12 more runs needed, 16 when he played that shot. So really playing well, these two. Hildreth moves on to 32. Abel is on 64. It's been a really good performance from these two batsmen who have put on now 98 between them. So it's been a fantastic partnership. Don't often really see too many 100 partnerships in T20 cricket. This one not quite there yet, but looking good. Really chanceless, to be honest. I haven't seen too many moments where we've had our hearts in our mouths watching these two players. It's been fantastic work from Hildreth and the standing captain Tom Abel.
I think that'll be one of the things that will be most alarming for Glamorgan head coach Matt Maynard, as this time Hildreth comes down the track, Abel comes down the track and wallops the ball just for 6 into the groundsman shed. 6 runs, beautiful footwork, eased down the track, and again, without too much force, just lifted the ball for 6. Look, the quality of the footwork, the pureness of strike, the flow of the bat face. Tom Abel is on fire tonight, takes him on to 70. 6 more runs as well. That's 50 quid to charity, to Somerset Disability Cricket. The numbers are clocking up. Tom Abel, he's a man of the people. He's probably even thinking about that now, how he can donate more money to charity via Trade Nation. What an initiative that is.
Yeah, it's absolutely a great idea. 5 runs needed now. 129 for 2. As Salter comes in again, it's flighted in nicely. Hildreth, they'll think about 2 there. They will. No, they won't. They thought about it for a second. It was good fielding here at the long on boundary by Callum Taylor. Salter continuing, just the 4 runs needed. 130 for 2. It's 100 106-run partnership between Hildreth and Abel. We've been treated to tonight. Salter's in again. It's dropped short. This one played out towards the boundary. It's not going to get there. It's fielded at point, and Abel takes just the single, 131 for 2. And Somerset will be absolutely delighted with the way this has gone, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 4 to win. Be great to win with another donation to charity, wouldn't it, to the Somerset Disability Cricket, as this time is in, and Hildreth on the back foot. He won't be giving away this little red inker, this not out, as he's coming back for 2. He's fallen over, Hildreth, at the non-striker's end.
Having said that, Steve,
run himself out. Oh my goodness, that could have been absolute carnage. But he puts Tom Abel back on strike. It's just 3 runs required. There's 4.1 overs left, so there's no way that Somerset aren't going to get home here, and it's been a performance of real class in terms of with the ball and with the bat, as Abel works the ball away this time, just for a single.
Just the single takes it to scores level, so 133 for 2 Somerset, 133 for 8 Glamorgan were after their innings, so Somerset now cannot lose this game.
Yeah, and it's very apt that Tom Abel is going to be on strike with a chance to hit the winning runs, as we just see Tom Abel just coming down the track and just belting the ball into the groundsman shed. He enjoyed that one. He had a good look at it afterwards. But he's been on fire tonight, Tom Abel. 73 not out. He hasn't looked like hitting the ball to any of the fielders in the vicinity of any Glamorgan cricketer, and he's done it with a huge amount of control, style, but also in the situation of the game when he came in. It would have been easy for him to feel anxious, be under pressure. I think we were 20 for 2 or there or thereabouts. Yep. And actually Somerset have coasted this game. It looks like Douthwaite's going to be the man to bowl. It's De Gutten in actual fact. And he's into Abel, and he cuts the ball away on the offside for a single. That's the win with Somerset. Abel lifts his hand, acknowledges the claps, and there are a few of them in the ground. The Somerset players will be delighted with that. Abel finishes on 74 not out, Hildreth 34 not out. Somerset have won by 8 wickets. What a day today for Somerset. They've bounced back from the disappointment of losing to Northamptonshire, and 2 points gained.
Yeah, it's a really good result for Somerset after what had been a bit of a disappointment on the weekend, losing to Northamptonshire, then the washout on Friday night. There's T20 season now for Somerset up and running, and it was a trip to Taunton that they needed to get it going. They've won by 8 wickets with 3 overs and 5 balls to spare. It's a comprehensive victory. Captain Tom Abel finishing on 74, Hildreth there on 34. 2 fantastic displays from those batsmen. They came in at 24 to 2. They were together. 134 they managed to make before Glamorgan were able to get them out. Somerset will go up to 3 points in the table now, which is fantastic news for them, getting those 2 points. We're going to take a look at some slow motion shots here of Tom Abel. The winning moments and some of those lovely shots that he's played as well. Well worth keeping an eye on the social media feeds of Somerset to have a look at those as they happen. But Tom Abel, who has played a fantastic captain's innings here, bringing Somerset home in a game where those early wickets could have meant it went either way. But Somerset have done really well here. Well, let's just take a look at what's been going on with the money we've talked about here that Trade Nation are donating all sorts for 4s and 6s. It's 25 quid per 4, and it's 50 quid for every 6. We didn't see any of the Trade Nation signs hit. We didn't see all that many 6s really. It was a low scoring game, but what it means is that £850 would have gone to the charity, but Trade Nation will top that up. They're going to give £1,000 to Somerset Disability, to the visually impaired squad, and to the Super Ones as well, which is a really great thing to have alongside everything else that's going on tonight. Somerset win, and the Somerset clubs there getting £1,000. Yeah, it's great news all round, Charlie. The captain has seen the boys home. Everyone's had a great day in terms of watching the live stream. Tom Abel's finished 74 not out, and £1,000 to Somerset Disability Cricket. Absolutely fantastic. Not only is it a new streaming partner for Somerset County Cricket Club with Trade Nation, but they're are really good causes benefiting as well. And I know on Friday when we come back as well, it's the Region's air ambulances are benefiting as well, from Dorset
Devon, Somerset and Cornwall as well.
Yeah, which is really good news. Let's take a quick look at the table. At the moment, there are some games in play. So Northamptonshire are top at the moment. Somerset moved into second with that. They've got 3 points from their 3. So the run rate, their net run rate, 0.584 for those who keep a track of those things, which generally come in to play later on. That's pretty much it from us here. Thank you so much for watching and being part of it. We'll be back on Friday for the next home game. That's against Birmingham Bears. But right now, let's wrap up tonight's proceedings with James, who is going to be able to talk to us. James White, he's from...
So there you have it. That was the game tonight. What a great win for Somerset against Glamorgan. Thanks very much for watching the stream. Hope you've enjoyed it. It'd be interesting to see what your thoughts are and how we can improve the stream going forward. But it's been a great game here. Those that have been here and the team that put it on have really enjoyed it. It's been a great performance by Somerset. Fantastic victory. Everyone thought it would be a difficult game, but it's turned out to be a little bit easier than expected. But well done to Glamorgan and well done to Somerset, and hopefully they can take that form into the next game, which is on Thursday, where they play Worcestershire at Edgbaston, which is a game live on Sky. And then we're back here at the Cooper Associates County Ground on Friday evening, where we've got another chance. We're going to be, Trade Nation are going to be giving out away another TV in streaming style. We're going to be, so if you've got a chance to enter that competition, we'd love you to enter. The details will be put up on the Somerset website, or follow Somerset on social media, and we can make sure that you get a chance to win a TV and get a chance to hopefully watch the game in style alongside a whole range of other goodies. So the other good thing as well from tonight is that we haven't seen the big boards being hit, but what we have seen is £850 being raised for charity, which has basically meant that Trade Nation have topped up to £1,000. So the Somerset Disabled Cricket Association are going to get £1,000 into their pot to be able to use for initiatives that they've got. So it's really great news that that's happened. Somerset have won. It's been a perfect night all round. The only thing that we'd love to have is you guys as fans in here, but can't be the case at the moment. But more importantly, we now look forward to another game on Friday, and hopefully Somerset can continue this great form and climb up that table and hopefully qualify for the finals day. So just a little thanks from us at Trade Nation to say thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the stream, and have a look at tradenation.com if you've got inquiries or questions around trading and what it is. We'd love to hear from you. The team there would love to talk to you about what it is that you want to do, what do you want to achieve. But thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed, and we look forward to sharing more stuff with you on Friday. Take care.
In Friday as well?
Yeah, doing Friday. We've got all the home games. Yes.
Doing all of great.
Yeah. So we're doing.
Of course, Friday because it's easier, isn't it?
Yeah. So Friday because all the other.
Oh, that's
games
right.
Fridays.
Brilliant day this time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of course it is. Yeah.
So it's only one. This is the only day I've had to take off work to do it.
Yeah,
so
of course.
yeah,
No,
it's
really
blackbird.
much
That's nice. This actually sounds really loud, even though they're all.
It's funny back in where they started off.
Yeah.
That's
sort of
what they used to kind of-
the old, really. Yeah. Like the old Viv Richards days, they were coming out of there. Good stuff. Yeah, that was good.
Deserve to have a good